Oh boy. Oh boy. We're here. Oh boy. The countdown till the end. I'm assuming audio is Gucci. It usually is. I'm just good at this now. You know, I'm just fucking good at this shit. Check that. Sounds pretty good to me. Yeah, so I think we're just about ready to get in there. Yeah, it's good. Alright, I just want to double check. But yeah, we're good. There we go. Alright, wait, move this here. Move you here. Oi. Without further delay. Sit, everybody, get comfy, get some snacks, get some drinks. Going to sit down and relax. Because it's time. There's a yellow bar across the damn game, and I want that gone. Thank you. Alright. Get your drinks, get your food, get your snacks, whatever you want, whatever you need. There's enough delay. It's time. For Chapter 12. Witch on the Holy Night, too. Golden Wolf's ears stood pointed, twitching response to the sounds around it. His meal finished, could have went to a ball in anticipation of nap time, and yawned, half from boredom. I hold that this chapter is genuinely one of the greatest things I've ever read. Hope you enjoyed. Ooh, big praise. Oh, I can't wait. Is it supposed to be audio? Because it's really quiet. Okay, there's supposed to be. There is, but it's just quiet on my end. The old, abandoned classroom had fulfilled its purpose many moons ago. For a month, the wolf had spent this time resting on top of a heap of disheveled desks. His name was Beowulf. He was a purebred werewolf, named after the sun at his birthplace and a hero of legend upon leaving there. Goes without saying he was not from this country. Of course, I could tell from the start. He came from a land deep within the European wilderness, surrounded by mountains and forests. His homeland was a realm no human had ever set foot in. In their isolated world forgotten by time, a diminishing race of werewolves lived in peace. This is where Beowulf first appeared. When I came on the outskirts of their village, the werewolves found a child bearing the same golden coat as their ancestors. The child was sleeping soundly, as if its natural habitat. The village welcomed their new member with open arms. 2,000 years of advancing civilization had been cruel to them. As the forests were destroyed, families unearthed, the waters polluted, werewolf birth rate dwindled. They were not facing one birth a decade. The child's golden coat deviating from the typical gray or white and shared only by their ancestors who were treated as gods felt like a sign their prayers had been answered. A bloodline atrophy. Werewolves were forced to embrace change. This radiating child, at least temporarily, made them forget about their troubles. Alas, as time passed, their hopes turned to disappointment. The golden werewolf was not their salvation. For some reason, Blue, that ray of golden sun, remained a child. Decades passed and still he did not grow. Forever young, immortal, cursed. He searched the village for his birth mother, but to no avail. He searched the village for someone who understood his plight, but to no avail. Hundreds of years came to realize something. He was different. Very different. Neither male nor female. Neither strong nor weak. Ignorant of life and death, joy and fear. That thing's a spirit, born of nature. Might look like us werewolves, but don't let that fool you. But the child himself needed not conjecture to know his own true nature. He was perfect, therefore he was alone. To the golden wolf, the world was too small. That was why. Indeed, that was the very reason. He wanted to know what life was. He wanted to know loss. He was all-powerful. He wanted to know the mystery behind his all-powerfulness. Because as it was, his existence was meaningless. The golden wolf was at a loss. As were the werewolves around him. They revered him, but at the same time wanted nothing to do with him. Liu moved back to the cave he was discovered in, and resigned himself to a life of seclusion.
太陽のルー？ルーガルじゃなくて？そりゃ面白い。偶然にしちゃできすぎだ。
Then one day, a wicked mage visited the village.
またガタガタとうるさい。トウコさんはあれだよね。派手好きなくせに豆だよね。
Good question, kid. He was placed on top of the rubble, but he appeared into the hallway. He thought his fussy master was busy dealing with Misaki City's ley lines. She was engrossed in making traps. 1 month passed since they made the dive into the building their makeshift workshop. Creating a new trap for intruders became a daily pursuit of Toko's.
安全を用意しておくなんて他の生き物は大変だ。
Screw him. I've been like this since birth, knowing neither infancy nor dotage. He fought differently than others. He was perfect from the day he was born, never declining, never improving. As such, he had no comprehension of weakness. Childlike, fickle, without morals, he had no concept of good and bad as either a wolf or a human. I flipped him around, but it is what it is. A beautiful creature disconnected from the world around him. He was on top of all other creatures. With one exception. His master, Toko Aozaki. She showed him a sparkling, delicious world. Above all, he found her scent refreshing. To him, the world was divided into what was cool and what was not. Her preference in leisure pursuits were of no consequence to him, and he never took gender into account. Nothing that mattered to him was a person's life was logical and therefore cool. Tokaosaki had her faults, but she smelled good.
Beo, 昼食は済ませたか?
Beo's master entered the classroom, presumably done with her traps for the day.
夜が本番だ。それまであまり羽目を外すなよ。
Sometimes, like now, she would nag him, but on the whole, his master pleased him. In reality, the contract binding her to him was not particularly powerful. If he wanted to, he could tear her to pieces at any time. No human could restrain him. However, he had no intention of killing Toko in exchange for his freedom. There was a reason for this. In order to move about freely in human society, he needed someone like her. As long as she did not offend him, he had no reason to rock the boat. However,
やっと本番か。待たせすぎだよ、トウコさん。
the promise she had made him in his cave, the reality of their situation had begun to come apart at the seams.
来い。最高の神秘と戦わせてやる。
He was compliant up to now, but his pace was wearing thin. The fight with the news magician last night was an enormous letdown.
そういうな。私も昨日は拍子抜けだったんだから。いいけどね。実はあの子、 使わないんじゃなくて使えないだけじゃないの？
His masked expression turned serious. Not in agreement with the wolf's question, though. She had already asked herself the same and many other similar questions.
いや、使うぐらいなら死んだ方がマシなのかもな。
Oh. So Alice has some bigger spell, huh?
そんなバカなことがあるの？使わないと死んじゃう状態だったんだよ。
So about the magician? Oh, right. Not the magecraft, the magician. Sorry. Right. I need to fucking read. I'm reading, but I'm not reading. Right. The magician, not the magecraft user. I need to read.
だから、そんなバカな考えが成立するぐらい。
Right. I know Alco's the magician. I know. I was reading, but I wasn't reading. All right, because I was thinking of because we didn't see the Alco fight, so I was thinking about the Alice fight the most. Because I'm like, oh, she brought out her big stone, the big troll. They got one shot. Oh, she probably had something even better that she didn't use. No, it's about Alco and her big fucking laser beams. That it must be too terrifying to use. Toko finished in her head. Stopped short of voicing it and chuckled at her emotional outburst.
どれほどのものか想像がつかないのは確かだ。だがまあ、根本は変わらないさ。魔法がどのような奇跡神秘の類であれ、魔術師である以上、青子に勝ち目はない。
That space between the comma and the AS is immaculate. Big space. Those words, Pius Master walked out of the room, emphasizing that his role in all this was to face Alco, only at that very moment.
魔法ね。
Wait, does Toku believes Alco has true magic? Okay, sure. Alright. She has? Hasn't showed any yet, as far as I know. I suppose we'll know. I'll figure it out. Well, I haven't seen her use any, that's for sure. One look in his eyes shifted. He recalled the taste of that girl, his long tongue sliding over his chainsaw-like fangs. No mistake. He would finish his meal. He was the oldest werewolf, the golden god of the forest. For as long as he could remember, no, from the moment he appeared, he had been the most powerful creature of all. I don't know about that, Wolfie. You haven't met a true ancestor. I don't know about that, Wolfie. All man-made mystics were trash before him. Magecraft was laughable. Even mystics, artificial miracles were futile. Their very existence was an insult to him.
もちろん、そういう契約だし、ちゃんと平らげはするけれど。
That was the extent of their pact. Once he had dealt with this so-called true magic, he was free. Well, since they were both born from nature of Earth, we really don't have any way of knowing which one would come out on top. I mean, I think it could be Ark if she's in one of her spots, you know, like in Tsukihime, like at the end, in the true ending. If she's in one of her prime locations where she's just given infinite mana, basically. If she's in one of those locations, I think she'd win, but if she's not, if it's like just an even field for both, I could see the wolf winning, yeah. Or she might pull out the luminaire, the luminaire, to be fair. Whatever it was called in luminous? She might pull that out. Yeah, she's the O and OP, bruh. She's the OP and OP, basically. His eyes burn with the wolf inside of him. His fanged maw twists into a sadistic, beastly grin. I mean, so is his wolf, clearly, right? Clearly, so is his wolf, so I don't know. There it is. Chapter 12. Witch on the Holy Night. 2. Though I'll give it 2. I'd say I'd probably give it to Ark, honestly. It was just past 7 p.m. Saki High School's old building stood silently. When the light from the city reached the area, the forest and mountains kept the area hushed. Nothing unusual. During the winter vacation, the old building, now still covered in yesterday's snow, was rarely used. Without signs of life, such unused structures were mere monuments of what once was, nothing more. The old school building remained that way until the start of the new semester. Oh boy. Let's realize, what is with Nasu works and ending in, like, winter? I just realized that. Tsukihime ends, like, close to winter. K and K's, like, last movie is in winter. This is ending in winter. The heck? I just realized that. What's with Nasu ending shit in winter? Behind it, the vast forest grew darker by the minute. I guess it's because the whole philosophy of, like, Christmas and the New Year's like the beginning and it's like the beginning and the end. The start of the end of something old, the beginning of something new, right? I'd assume that's why. If the building had died in just under 2 weeks of vacation, what had become a forest over the years? A wall of overgrown trees filtered out the noise of the city and most of the moonlight. An otherworldly realm had taken root, not even 2 miles away from town. Pierced in the cold night air, footsteps crunched through the powdery snow.
この辺りに仕掛けはなさそうね。それで、どうするの？このまま急行車に忍び込む？
You're gonna do it right here in the open field, huh? Okay.
まさか。私らがやってきたことなんて、とっくにバレてるわ。
You know, Alko, for how bad a beater and absolutely fucked up you got, you look good. For how fucked up you got, you look alright.
隠れても意味はないし、何より敵のアジトに入ってどうするのよ。盗みが目的じゃないでしょ、今回は。
True, true.
後ろから切りつけるのは強盗というのじゃなくて？
Well, Alice, Alko just said she knows you're here, so there's no element of surprise.
それができれば苦労はないんだけどね。まあ、忍者の真似事は私というか、アリスの芸風じゃないでしょ。
Yeah, we don't really do that.
そもそもやる気満々なのはこっちもあっちも同じってこと。
Yeah, it's you two, it's the wolf, it's Toko, bro, it's all of you. The sound of their footsteps stopped in unison. The old forgotten Misaki High School building stood before them. It used to be the schoolyard, was now a barren snowscape. Reclaimed by the forest, the building looked a shell of its former self. Surrounding trees resembled standing mourners at a funeral.
せっかちなお嬢さん方だ。タイムリミットまであと4時間はあるというのに。
Yeah, but like, we want you dead now. We want you gone now. Alone in the middle of the white altar was the lone, scarred red mage. She came out from the forest and lowered herself slightly, scanning at her distant target. Next to her, Alice stood motionless. The bare branches of the trees cast long, thorny shadows. So they did, huh? That's what they did. I was reminded of Sleeping Beauty. Except this mage wasn't nearly as pleasant as the prince in that. Not to mention she wasn't sleeping, and there was no prince. Then why were you thinking of Sleeping Beauty? Regardless, this princess came out of her schoolhouse castle to greet her challengers. その体で無理をして。You're...
あなたのそういうところ、姉としてどうかと思うわ、青子。
You care? I'm shocked. Luca grinned faintly. Luca fell back to urge to respond. Meanwhile, Alice stood in silence, uninterested in sibling rivalry. Luca stood about 100 feet away. Their senses sharpened through magecraft and the silence of the forest. They could hear each other perfectly. The golden wolf was nowhere to be seen. Toko faced the two girls alone. His black overcoat and winter hat were typical items of clothing for a mage battle. A few paces in front of her was Aoko. His combat garb was comparatively out of place. Not a Misaki High School uniform. She had asked Alice to bring a change of clothes for her, but there must have been some misunderstanding. It was a trivial miscommunication. Toko seemed to think it had some special meaning.
ところで、始める前に一ついいかな。
Sure, go ahead.
気になって仕方がないし、この先機会もないだろうから聞くんだけど、あなたの戦闘服ってそれなの？青子。
Yes. Toko spoke clearly, and despite the distance, was able to communicate her deep-seated scorn without trouble. No way you let that get to you, bro. Aiko would rather attack than engage in small talk. She decided to take the bait.
そんなわけないでしょ。今までこういう機会が多かっただけよ。数えるなら今日を含めて4回しかないわ。ま、私はまだ現役だからそれも悪くはないかもしれないけど、いつか流行るでしょ、こういうのも。
I am here. You made it for the Well, not you haven't missed anything. You haven't missed anything. Nothing's big happened yet. We're having our standoff, so it's watching Harry Potter, and we'll go to more Harry Potter, I guess. We'll go to more because it's dawned on me recently how similar these are. Not in the sense that this is like it, but like certain concepts and how certain things work. It's like, oh, this is very similar. I was sure to emphasize her words. A split second, Toko's eyes narrowed.
呆れたな。相変わらずのローセンスだ。
To be fair, Toko, what you're wearing is... It's great and all. It's really great, but your robe, your clothes definitely get an upgrade in K and K to say the least. She got a point. What Toko's like fashion is like way ahead of its time. Did it or not? They get Are you saying you don't like the simple like white shirt? What? Huh? No way.
それはどうも。人形を実の妹に見立てる異常者にそう言われるなら、一周回って安心よ。
And that shit rocks. And then the movie in the fifth movie with the spiral, and then her outfit in spiral, bro, the big coat and the inner red shirt, bro, that's peak. All her K and K fits are better than this one. I'm gonna have to say it. That's not to say this is bad, alright? That's not to say this is a bad outfit for her. It's just I prefer the ones in K and K. This outfit's incredible. It is. It's a good ass outfit. Take your meds. Nah, Grandpa does not have to go to bed. Stop. Grandpa has to keep reading. I do not need to go to bed. With that, the two fell silent and glared at each other. Their blood was cut through the thick, cold air like a knife. Oh. When two of them seized each other up, Alice surveyed the area around Toko. No indication anyone or anything was lying to wait near her. Perhaps she should see if the werewolf was still in the old school building. Go to bed, Grandpa. You've been staring at the wall for the last 6 hours. What do you mean? Toko didn't feel like Aoko and Alice were much of a threat in their injured state. Was she really not expecting a counterattack so early? So the werewolf wasn't ready? After some contemplation, Alice surmised it was the former. She really was going to fight alone. Oh, you foolish children. Her arsenal compromised for Mr. Guys and rude magecraft. Alice can solo Beowulf. Yeah, I can tell you missed last time. Yeah, I can tell you missed most of the last stream. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. She summoned her strongest fairy tale creature. the troll. And the troll got one shot. And then so did she. So, no. No. That's more than enough to deal with Alco and Alice in their current state. She doesn't have Mickey. Where did you get this idea that she has Mickey Mouse? Alice. All I need is one shot. Let's turn to Alice behind her with the moon on her finger. No, my question is, where did you get the idea she should get him? What? She deals in fairy tales, not fictional characters. I said no objections. Your plan was therefore to keep the werewolf busy. The mirror as a backup, I was hoping to catch Toko off guard. Would Disney catch that fucker? Oh, okay. Had a few other cards up their sleeves, but the fact remained that as mages, their attacks wouldn't affect the werewolf. Make it could be a fairy tale? Bruh, that's not how it works. Alright. So it's time to ignore them, focus on taking out Toko. Yeah, she's out, the wolf has always to stay here. Not the best strategy. There's only two I could come up with. But they had been thrown a curveball. Toko had the upper hand. She was reluctant to use the beast. Alco wasn't about to let this opportunity go to waste. Distracting her with sibling banter should settle things before the werewolf even showed up.
じゃあ、今度はこっちの番ね。どう？結界の張り直しは進んでる？
まさか、昨日の今日よ。まだ手をつけてもいない。せいてはことを仕じる。
Well, okay, the strongest thing she could show was a flat snark, but that bitch is dead. So the strongest she's got after that is the troll.
だいたい私の目的は霊脈の奥にあるもので、結界そのものじゃない。張り直しは予定にないさ。
That's gonna take like months or something. That takes like months maybe to get him back, bruh.
まあ、土地を暴くなんて面倒な真似をするより、お前を暴いた方が早いのかもしれないが。
Dude, that's literally not possible.
やっぱりそれが目的だったのね。ならなおのこと、あんたを魔法使いにするわけにはいかないわ。
I guess Blue Eyes burned brightly with a fiery fighting spirit. Her sister was ready to pounce. Toko remained motionless before her mouth, which twisted into a smirk. At the magic boy.
魔法使いか。確かにまだ執着はあるね。私には移植されなかった魔術刻印と青崎の伝える魔法の正体。だがもういいよ。惜しくはあるが、到達すればどちらも自分で用意できる。それとも、今ここで私のために魔法の正体を見せてくれるのかい？青子。
That should send it to Alco. This is a bait. She's baiting you. Don't fall for it, Alco. Come on, man. It's a bait. It's a bait! Those words came out flatly, but her eyes mocked her sister. It was true, however, that if Alco wanted to defeat Toko, her best chance would be to use this mysterious true magic. The problem was that she couldn't. She could. She would have used it to avoid being mauled last night. Okay, also, he couldn't use True's magic. I believed she needed to fulfill some kind of condition. The action her grandfather placed on the formula was to prohibit miracles from being easily released or realized. However, that wasn't because he was concerned about the human world. It's exaggerating to say he'd feel nothing if magic leveled the entire city. The truth was, true magic never had any conditions. Alco was being held back by trauma. These 5 privileges, the only powers of their kind, were bound by cognitive seals. So Toko looked down on her naive little sister. So weak, body incapable of handling magic could be cut down with a mere sword. Alco knew that better than anyone else. That's why she couldn't forgive her sister's ridicule. Just try using true magic, huh? Pathetic taunt. That was how she wanted to play, and so be it.
ええ、お望みとあらばね。
A burst of pure rage, Aoko made her move. Her colorless shoe spread across the untainted snowfield. The stone skipping across the water. So Aoko charged forward. She disappeared. New footprints advanced, like bullet holes in the snow. Who held her ground? Concealment was elementary magecraft. More than likely, that came from one of Alice's trinkets. It was simply a defective countermeasure to domestic ice. Togo's mystic ice used the lock property to bind an opponent, and now the Logos property to discern truth through an illusion. Once the magecraft's workings were revealed, its weakness was exposed.
足癖が悪いのも変わらず。
In her 4 seconds, her opponent had closed 10 yards and was still speeding up. It appeared that she had given up on a mage battle and was going to move in for melee. The other girl, Alice Kwanji, didn't take a single step.
被弾覚悟の特攻。アリスからご筆ももらっているのでしょうけど、反省なさい、青子。切り札というものは、あくまで自己の力によるものを言うの。
Sneering, Toko raised her left arm, holding out in front of her threateningly. 10 more yards. Unfortunately, her footprints gave away her precision.
そう。
She began engraving a rune into the air. She could finish. Toko's footprints stopped. She was still too far away for close combat. A strange place to end her attack. No, wait. Would she really stop suddenly at that speed?
とんだく。
She made a snap decision. She raised her outstretched hand toward the sky as if saluting the moon.
ソエル
You far, bruh! Flames tore through the air. The root carved into the body above her, bathing it in a pillar of flames. No eternal resistance spell could help. Not simply burning their target, the runes warped them in a wrath of flames. But that was a fake, right? Because it was feathers. Sand screamed, falling onto the snow-covered ground. In agony, she extended a burning hand out from the hellish fire, as if begging for mercy. Stuff of nightmares. It still melted as the fire burned the attacker alive. The woman was far too radical to be Aoko. Toka had already turned her gaze to Alice. She hadn't been watching the burning corpse at all. Toka knew it wasn't Aoko from the moment the body fell to the ground.
アインスターの使い魔は何匹いる
Yeah! Irritated, Toka glared at Alice. Aoko had vanished in thin air. She hadn't moved at all. Why don't you trace a circle around where she stood? It's forged to fourth. A 4-bar grand magecraft, mobilizing her magic crest. Toko only had a single action runes. No, she hadn't mastered anything above 2 bars to begin with. This torrent of energy was too much to handle.
えい言わず
But you can try. He formed in a magic circle. Awas, the rune of withdrawal, was evoked and Aoko's concealment was undone. I'm told to utilize her mystic eyes. Her open pupil, the infinitely mirrored eyes captured her target in endless hell. Oh. Nah, bro, which one's the real one? The major sight was literally split in two. The space in front of Aoko was distorted, obscuring her form like an icy mist. Whose eyes like opposing mirrors. This was like staring at a one-way mirror at the triangular position. It was just split in two. You couldn't lock onto Aoko.
御水の鏡の効果よ、トウコさん。
The mirror is finally being used.
青子は鏡の Y 字路の奥にいる。一本道から見ているあなたに中心は見渡せない。
Damn, but tough. Anyway. Okay. This is where all the epic bangers. Okay. to explain without concern. The herb Toko made out of swallow, she was still unable to use her own magecraft. However, she could use ploys already in motion without using magical energy, such as the mansion's mirror and the aimless little blue bird. Finally, the magic bullet was loaded. Uh-oh! You better look out, Toko, because here this bitch comes! Raising her right arm to reveal her lumicrescent crests, Uncle took aim at her target 100 feet ahead. Magical energy coursed through her gun barrel arm. Once she had received Alice's invincibility, Toko had begun chanting her magecraft. It took Toko a few seconds to notice. Toko produced more spins in the awakened magic circus than she had ever done before. She ready did not snap, nor draw. Instead, she advanced past her third process, a compression of magical energy, Magic Blow. She fired the blue ether that gathered before her. It would fly with the force of 10 tons. Using her magic quest to multiply the energy and machine gun her target, there was enough power to demolish even the old school building behind her. Toko stared intensely at her sister, ready to fire. Toko had no time to counterattack, or even the speed to evade. That she didn't move implied she knew that better than anyone. Acceptance filled her eyes, not fear. Naoko didn't hesitate. She squeezed the trigger on her right hand. Last word came out like a scream. Near but of the ether, surrounding snow melted and flew around. Yeah! Toko was engulfed in dirt. No way she could survive Aoko's magic bullet. Contained every bit of Aoko's magical energy she could muster. Viewing the chaos, Aoko confirmed her victory. And yet, somehow she felt bitter. But then, just to deal with the torrent of magical energy she swallowed up later, took a tug at Aoko's childishness. Disappointment was so deep it bordered on despair.
学ぶにしては遅すぎたが。
What?
まあ聞いておけ青子。
Huh?
切り札というものは先に出した方の負けなんだよ。
Her voice cold and aloof. She's completely unscathed. Mage stood in the snowfield, with a single speck of dirt on her overcoat. Just before the bullet reached Toko, she deflected with magical energy at the same level. Toko? How? Is my question. You don't have this much magical energy, though. I could only stare at the scene before her. The negotiation of her magecraft hadn't shocked her, though. It looked like objects floated behind her sister. She could stare like she was living a nightmare. Countless magic crests poured out from Toko's back. It all happened in an instant. Or what the hell? That's cool. That's really cool looking. Magic bullet approaching like a tsunami. Toko lightly snapped her fingers, causing a stream of letters to rush out from behind her. Text became art. Golden flowers bloomed. Must have been hundreds. All sorts of magecraft from even beyond Western Europe. The kind normally carved into the flesh of a mage. The kind Toko outs like he shouldn't possess. The kind only followers of those schools should know. Awesome magic crests, brighter than the moon. What the fuck did she do? Inscribed in the air, from a totem pole, guardian beast to protect Toko.
と、まあこういうわけだ。
This don't seem fair, champ.
ベオだけに頼ってはいないことがよくわかったろ。
This don't seem fair, bro. The expression was steely. It was in her grasp. There was no room to rest on her laurels.
姿を隠したのは鏡の応用か。
You're not gonna break the mirror, are you?
探知や隔離だけでなく、援護まで行えるとはね。三大のプロイには含まれないものの、汎用性の面で言えば、あれも破格のプロイだな。
Thanks, but like,
持ち上げるじゃない。何？騙された負け惜しみ？
True.
いや、ただの自画自賛だよ。何しろ今のバージョンは、私とマインスターの合作だ。趣味に興じすぎてあれこれと機能を足してしまったと、今更ながら悔いているところさ。その後、青子に見せかけて私に向かってきたのは、例のコマドリ。それに気を取られている間の大規模な魔術の発動。私の魔眼はアリスが防ぎ、青子は攻撃だけに専念する。組み立ては悪くはない。よくやったと言っておくよ。
Alright. Toko recounted her strategy, sharing her impressions as she went. Who could not take her eyes off Toko's blooming magic crests. Only Alice was paying close attention to Toko's words.
しかし、それもここまでだ。惜しいな、青子。わずか2年であれだけの魔術を使えるのなら、あと数年もすれば一流の射手になっていただろうに。
But shooting out magic from your hands is so cool. Of course, you're still doing that. It's cool. But snapped her fingers again. The floating crests began to glow more brightly.
アリス、あれは何？
Yeah, what the fuck is that? She whispered to Alice standing next to her as she held her hand. She could not risk turning around. The second she took her eye off Toko, the fight would be over.
見ての通り、魔術刻印よ。信じられないけど。
Yeah, I could tell that. Thanks, but like, what the fuck? Alice's voice was filled with shock and discomfort. Marco shared Alice's sentiment. Magic crests were passed down through a family line and took unique forms. At heart, they were merely personalized inscriptions, and technically no different from grimoires. However, the reality was far different. Magecraft had no set form. Without a set shape, the ability to recreate mystics was itself flawed. Crafted into form required an immeasurable investment of time and devotion. Magic crests were the crystallization of a family's desires and ambitions, a proof of its ancestral lineage. Crests had no effect on their own. They were the ultimate symbol of a family. No mage was willing to imbue themselves with a crest, or lacked the resolve to merge with it, then the crest's meaning was lost. That was the key difference between a crest and a mere spellbook. Crests could not be shared. Imitating them was pointless. When it stood to reason, then, even if the crests manifested by Toko belonged to someone else, the original owner could benefit from them.
でも、確かに私の魔弾は、あの刻印からの魔術で弾かれた。あれは、もしかすると。
Yeah, wait a minute. They're flowers and they're like wings behind. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Melania? Is that you? You're not gonna start water dancing, are you? Please don't. I'm already sick of dealing with Melania. I don't want to deal with her again, but in this game. Searching for answers. She squinted her eyes, she glared at Toko. Not copying a crest had no purpose. The original inheritor could invoke one. There was only one possible conclusion.
そう。肌に刻まず中空に浮かべてるのはそういうこと。
Chris spat a curse at her sister. Toko nodded, eased at her enemy's quick wit.
ああ、この体には合わないのでな。私の背後の空間に固定している。 本当はね、お前たちのように肉に刻んだ方がいいんだ。魔術の起動が一動作で済むんだから。
But you literally did the same though.
だが実際に使用するのならこうするしかない。起動までの手順は一つ増えるが、マイナスばかりでもない。所詮は人事なんでね。
Bro,
痛み
actually,
は全く感じない。
bro, actually kind of unfair. It seemed neither physically nor mentally. I knew her sister was inhuman. She never thought she would go this far.
会うわけないじゃない。他人の魔術刻印を剥がしてるんだから、血筋の称号からして馴染むはずがないわ。
Bro, every trick.
で、奪われた連中は死ぬこともできず、今もどこかに生かされているわけだ。刻印の持ち主が死んだら起動すらできないものね、それ。
Okay, that I didn't realize, and bro, that's fucked up. That's fucked up, bro.
トウコさん、あなた。
That's fucked up.
非難される覚えはないんだが、私はかかる火の粉を払っただけだよ。向こうから戦いを挑んできたんだから、戦利品ぐらいは用意してもらわないと。まあ、中にはつまらない単語を口にしたバカ者もいるが、それはそれだ。むしろ優しいと思うけどね。私を殺しに来た連中をわざわざ生かしてあげてるんだから。
And so you locked them up somewhere to use their magic. Alright.
その魔術師たちがちゃんと人間の形をしてることを祈るわ。肉親として。
お前ね、私を何だと思ってるんだ。
Yes!
脳だけ保存とか、面倒だから100人ひとまとめにした肉塊とか、そんな手抜きなんぞするものか。きちんとカフェを用意して、食事も娯楽も睡眠も自由に提供してるんだぞ。中には一生ここで暮らしたいなんて騒ぎ立てるバカもいるぐらいだ。
Oh. Well, okay, I take back what I was thinking. Alright, I take it back. Alright, I take it back. I take it back. Sorry. Tuka's words were hardly believable, but it was clear her crests weren't copies. As his scowl deepened, Tuka had described had no discernible benefit in her mind. Why had she gone to the trouble of stealing other mages' crests? More efficient to break down the crests into components and make replicas. For a skilled puppet master like Toko, she could have made a much more powerful puppet with those crests. Made a pawn loyal to her every command at that, much more useful than any slave mage.
なんでそんなことを。そういう人なのよ、姉貴は。これで行くと決めたらそれしか目に入らない人なの。ある日の話よ。テレビでピザの CM をやっててさ、私たちは唐突にあのデブ食を食べたくなった。
Okay.
でも悲しいかな。一般家庭であるうちにあったのはサラミだけ。うちの実家、山奥にあるの知ってるでしょ。町まで行くのに1時間はかかる。中学1年だった私は我慢できなくて町まで行ったけど、ピザ屋なんか一軒もなくてとぼとぼ帰ったの。
Let me guess, Toko went like 3 towns across to find one. The tragedy of living in the countryside. Misaki, which only recently gotten a conveyor-belt sushi restaurant, won't see a pizzeria for another 2 years.
なのに骨折り損で家に帰ったら姉貴のやつおかえりとか手を振ってピザ食べてやがったのよ。
Oh, she already ate the other one.
おせんべいを下地にしてみたわとか言って、外見たら鳥3羽と牛1頭丸々消えてて、
Oh.
ああこの女には10日交換とか手間とかお金の問題とかそういうの一切頭にないんだって思い知らされたわ。
Damn. That's great. That was pretty crazy, bro. That's what the fuck?
そんな無茶なやつだからガンド打ちで目に見える傷跡を出そうなんて平気で考えるのよね。あんなのゲマトリア一節分の栄唱で同じ効果を出せるのに、あくまで呪術にこだわるから空も飛べない人形になるのよ、バカ兄貴。
Alright. What the puppet doppelganger made her blood boil? Could Aoko not have Toko had done it on purpose to annoy her? What frowned her eyebrows at Aoko's verbal assault? She had been stuck up until now. Speaking rudely about her prized puppet was crossing the line.
その人形に追い詰められたのはお前だったね。
Yeah, it was pretty it was pretty strong, excuse me, hiccuping.
それとゲマトリアはカバラの秘術だ。私はルーン専門だからお前のように広く浅く知識を広める気はないよ。
Numerology? To be fair, it was a cool ass puppet. It was a cool ass puppet. Can't insult it. It was pretty cool.
まあもっともこの刻印の所有者の一人からケルトの結界を教わりはしたがね。
People looked at the crest over her left shoulder. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Its shine was ever radiant, proving that its magecraft was active.
これは城で祖父を封じ込めるのに使っていてね。
Okay, you're just asking for it.
犯人汎用のドルイド層を閉じ込めたとまではいかないが、そうだな。私では郵便ポストぐらいの大きさが限界か。
Wait, yokai? Wait, am I supposed to take yokai literally, like he's half demon? Am I supposed to take that literally? Or is this an insult he's throwing at him? I'm gonna take it literally and think that her grandfather is like a demon monk. Half ghost, like demon ghost thing, yeah. I assume I'm supposed to take that literally. Alright.
ほら、昔お前が壊した赤いポスト。ちょうどあれぐらいの可愛い鳥小屋だよ。人間一人分をしまうには窮屈だろうが、祖父は肉体というより霊体に近い。
Spirits,
利用によってはそっちの方がふさわしいかもしれないね。
There's a halfway dead monk that'll beat the shit out of you. Yes. And, well, saying spirit here, yeah, okay, so he's... Alright. There was stuff a sinister laugh. Her explanation chilling. The cold veneer seemed to slip slightly when it came to her grandfather. Her smile betraying the long festering hatred she still clung to.
そういったわけでね。先の青子の魔術を防いだので、この刻印もしばらくは使用不能なんだ。今のが本当の魔法だったなら、わずか3行の刻印では打ち消せなかっただろうに。青子、お前は僅差で負けたんだ。恥じることはないよ。じゃあ、そろそろ終わりにしよう。抵抗をするのは自由だが、ベオ相手にそれは辛いぞ。
Run, here he comes! Good stream. Here he comes! Alright, boys. That's the end of the game. GG's. It's over. Go snap the fingers one more time. The golden werewolf was hiding in the old school building. The signal to him echoed eerily through the surrounding woods. When the echo stopped, Aoko shouted back at Alice.
行って、アリス!
It would sound like a reprimand, but Alice silently obeyed. Let's pack it up, fellas. We tried. Yup. Wolf's coming. Pack it up. Without hesitation, she left Aoko behind to handle Toko and made for the forest. Defeat was inevitable. Once for both of them to die. One that could survive, there could be a round of 3. So Aoko decided to be the sacrificial pawn.
トウコ自身の切り札も分かったし、アリスが本調子になれば勝てない相手じゃないものね。
Really? Really? She can beat Bale? You are that confident? I mean, I'm on the Alice train here. I believe in her no matter what she does. I believe in her. But you're that confident. Steel chair. No. Sojiro, please. I mean, if Aoko's this confident, Alice, bruh, if she's confident, I'm confident. Mother bitterly to herself as Alice's feet crunched through the snow. Instead of cursing her own death, she cursed the fact she would not see Alice defeat Toko. Alice was to curse except this. Alice disappeared into the forest. Seeing her fellow mage's presence fade, Aoko continued to glare at her sister.
いつまでじらす気？私、待たされるのは好きじゃないんだけど。
True. Speaking of waiting, whoever Toko had called was nowhere to be seen. It should have taken him more than a few seconds to come flying out of the old school building.
そうせくな。今赤ずきんを追っているところだ。黒帽子の彼女をそう例えるのはやや無理があるがね。
You motherfucker. Her tone reeked of irony. Shit. What do you mean? What? No! Acid! The wolf is going after Alice, and Alice can't fight back! She still can't fight back! The words traveled aimlessly across the schoolyard like a rambling announcement. She literally can't use me. I told you this. If she tries to fight back, she will explode. Haruko stood frozen and dumbfounded. What Toko was saying seemed so far away from reality. Fuck. Trust in the plan. There isn't one. I trust in the plan! She was stunned with being fooled, so she turned around. Moonlight shining off of the fallen snow allowed her to see far into the forest. Trust the process, bro! In the white darkness, a lone boy came into view, walking toward her. Sojiro! Could not have been any taller than Aoko's chest, but he carried Alice over his shoulder with ease. As she was nothing, he tossed her body upward. She arched through the air for several feet before dropping headfirst for Aoko's eyes. Her neck would snap on impact. Call her crazy. That doesn't look like Sojiro. Yeah. But she was wise not to. Reached out and caught her. His left body weighed heavy as she fell into Aoko's arms. The stitches on her wounds tore, tying Aoko's arms crimson. She grit her teeth, fighting the pain that shot through her body, and the sensation of the warm blood.
Alice, 無事?
Alice did not respond. I could see she was at least conscious. No one must have ambushed her right after she ran into the woods. I'm trusting the process, man! Bro, this shit is... Bro, this... Alice bled heavily from where that wolf tore her abdomen open last night. That's what he had done to Aoko. Bro, again? You motherfucker.
初めから森に潜ませていたとはね。
Cursing her own carelessness, lay Alice's body down. Set her sights on the blonde-haired boy, her new target.
つまり、あれよね。甘く見ていたふりで、初めから余裕なかったんだ。
If Shiro Emiya could win against Gilgamesh, then Alice and Aoko can win this fight. Unfortunately, it's so true, but like, that's a little bit different. Circumstance a little bit different there, bro. So true, boy. So true. Even in the face of Aoko's rage, did not stop smirking. He was a fucking jobber. He did throw that shit. Did I mention that? He did throw at the end of Stay Night. And UBW. And, well, he didn't get a chance in Heavensfield. He stared back at the girls, eyes gleaming, twinkled excitement at the brutality to come. Choose the EF frame 1. That's why he lost, because he didn't. Blonde hair and green eyes she saw last night. His effeminate features now seemed ethereal, like he had changed into being a being from another planet.
Leo, 今日は食っていいぞ.
Toko's voice echoed from afar. His grin broadened. Nobody could have expected what came next. Aoko rushed headfirst at the boy. Fastened the robin decoy, she sped, blood driven from both arms. He watched wide-eyed at the spectacle. As could only look on with vacant eyes, she lay helplessly on the ground. Wolf Boy was caught off guard by the prey becoming predator. Punch him! Crossed a 20-foot gap in a second before planting a foot in the snow. Rested on momentum and pivoted her body like a top. She instantly understood what was coming. The boy wouldn't be able to dodge in time. She had momentum from her sprint, pushed her leg into the ground and sprang up. Deadly timing, her roundhouse kick swung in a wide arc toward the boy's neck, sending an explosion of force to his brainstem. Me! It was an expert display of martial arts, strength from a magical energy. She got the hang of close combat while fighting Toko's puppets. The final kick was powerful enough to shatter a tree trunk. The boy did not move. What is he, Jiren? Bruh! Ako's right shin connected firmly and stopped. Bruh! Oh, shit. Trust the process, am I right? Trust the process? Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Trust. A shockwave rippled through his neck. Same feedback Alco had felt when she destroyed the puppet. He wasn't defeated. She had severely damaged his spine. She looked at him to confirm her kill. The boy simply stared back at her. It even bothered him to twitch an eyebrow.
お姉さんの右足は確か噛み切った方だ。それで首を狙ったのはすごいよね。女の人は本能的に自分の体をかばうものだってトウコさんは言ってたのに。
It's children. Bro, oh shit, what happened? What happened? What happened? I didn't touch anything. I swear, I didn't touch anything. What happened? The immersion's been ruined. I'm sorry. Hold on. I ruined the immersion. I'm sorry.
それで首を狙ったのはすごいよね。女の人は本能的に自分の体をかばうものだってトウコさんは言ってたのに。けど残念。せっかくの勇気も無駄でした。僕の体毛の質はこの姿でも変わらない。産毛だけでもお姉さんの蹴りを受け止めることはできる。
That's great, kid. What hurt between the two was Alka. Like she had lodged in his neck was totally numb. Like he had been chopped clean off with a hatchet. Should have aimed for the neck. No, but she did! She did aim for the neck! That's the thing! She did! But because he's got long hair, that shit don't matter.
それに少しだけ迷いがあったな。くっつけたばっかりの足だからかばったでしょ。
Should have aimed harder. Should have kicked harder too.
人間が僕の相手をするならそんなこと気にしちゃいけないのに。
Bro, this is like fighting Ark all over again.
ああ。
But worse.
でも。
Because this one hurts a lot. Boy smiled, basking in Ako's shock and awe. She went through your leg. But as soon as she regained her footing, it would tear her stomach open.
どっちにしろミンチだから気にしても仕方がないよね。ほら、もったいない。せっかく治ったばかりなのに。
Ako was not sure. The fly he had sunk his finger into the flesh of her right leg. He was right about her leg. She barely had any feeling in it. Been completely paralyzed after the last attack, and was now back in the same horrid state. Except this time, instead of being torn to pieces, it had been crushed into the bone. It might have been numb. Just the look of it was enough to horrify her. The way it was crumbled, all that blood. No one person would have died from shock. Think about someone else. Consider how cruel magic crests could be.
あれ？まだ目が死んでない。
You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for the most of the movie to just be this fight. They take out most of that slice of life, and it's just this fight. Can't wait. I can't wait for that. It should not be just one movie, bro. It can't.
苦しめたくないんだけど。頑丈なのも考えものだよ。
Fuck you,
お
man.
姉さん。
He's in a fight to start bullying. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Bully thrust his hand out Aoko's chest. Her consciousness flickered from the sudden pain of escape. No, a child's fist piercing her torso. The scenery flew by. She soared for the air, like a ragdoll tossed away by a bored child. Just like Alice a moment ago, she tumbled through the air and hit the ground hard. I don't think there's any other word but bullying to be used here. Her right leg was crushed, her chest caved in. It's as if her heart had been scooped out of her chest. Each gasp of breath left her wanting more. So what it was like to see stars? The terrifying part was the pain. It never let up. Desperately trying to suck in oxygen, you could still feel his fist. Leisurely, the boy strolled across the snow toward Aoko's broken body. His red tongue gliding over his lips. Okay, that was necessary. He stared at his prey, just desperately trying to breathe. His eyes filled with glee. Bro, this isn't fair. At all. Aoko bit down the temptation to drift away, but she could not find no reason to fight on. The snow had broken her fall slightly. Her death was all but certain. The fist seized Crate on her chest, and her mangled leg made sure of that. You know, she knew she was a broken mess. Magic Crest's friendly work to resuscitate her heart. But why? The sound of Toko in the distance. It's the only thing that kept her conscious. Her sister looked surprised for some reason. She was witnessing some strange phenomenon. It wasn't like her. I don't know what it was. I could try to stay conscious. Feebly trying to raise her head, she looked where Toko was staring. She looked like that when she was so close to victory. Anyway. Anyway. His heart was beating faster than normal. The fragmented and disturbing images kept returning, desperately pushed into the back of his mind. Her thoughts that shook his resolve. It was best to file them away into an unseen corner of his consciousness. Right now, he only focus on controlling his breathing and the exertion. Just stay calm, he repeated to himself. Let's stop for a second since leaving the church. You're not giving a thought to what he would do next. So many traffic lights. So many people. It's Christmas. There's no way he would find a taxi. Waiting for one was not an option. He had to put his trust in his legs. Dash through the city streets. He had to find a shorter route than last night. His heart was ready to jump out of his chest, kind of like a hammer against a fire belt. No intention of giving up yet. He could not seem to calm himself down. In his precarious condition, even surrender seemed too great of an effort to spare. Visions of horrible outcomes flashed through his mind. No, calm. He needed to stay calm. That was his only weapon. He was painfully aware that he was powerless. Something he could do was to keep his head on straight. He wrangled up his mind. His pulse seemed to quicken with every step. The forest was faintly lit by the moon. It was more than enough on such a bare mountain. Sort of console him, Bro, I don't think so. Trust? Okay. All there's two sets of footprints. Headline a situation he had nothing to do with, just like at the amusement park. Trust. Even if you go, there's nothing you could do for them. The effect her admonishing words had was to hasten his pace. Oh, I thought that was thought of Aries' words, not Yuika's. Pushed the ground with his legs even harder, trying to leave his doubt in the kicked up snow behind him. Of course he was powerless. And his chest told him so. At best he would be useless, and at the worst he would be a liability. He recalled the binding spell placed on him at the church. It did not matter. His body told him he would regret being torn to pieces less than if he did nothing. And once did his legs fail him as he ran through the woods. It felt as though his heart could at any moment. His weakness screamed at him from within. Just like back at the amusement park. It was beyond reason or circumstances now. Ultimately, I just want to help her. That was what he really desired. His heart pounded with vigor. He ran through the dark, wintry forest. Only one thing gnawed at his mind. No concern for the girls, or anger toward Toko. Red roses bursting forth from her limbs. Screams of agony, like childbirth. The harsh reality of something beautiful dying. The nightmare was tenacious. Never again. Never ever again did he want to see something like that again, if he could help it. Just ahead was the forest clearing. Moonlit shone on the old school building like a spotlight. Once again, those thoughts crept back. He could not bear seeing something like that again. That was why he ran. But he had to face that second time. How could he stay calm? That thought in the mind, he arrived at the clearing. Somehow, his frantic breathing, his rising and lowering shoulders stopped. No exhaustion, no inertia, just blankness. Like his mind was frozen in time. This was the second time he felt like this. Nausea and dizziness from the first time. Feeling whining of the last few weeks. Doubts clouding his mind. They were all gone. Displaced entirely from his mind by an even stronger emotion. His heart pounded with the force of a sledgehammer. It was a primal sound, loud enough to bring him to his senses. You're gonna do guys dumb as fuck. Nah, bro, I believe in Sojiro. Sojiro stepped into the clearing. He had a deep but steady exhale. Though his eyes were locked with the blonde-haired boys, his concentration was focused inward. Be calm. Be calm. Every fiber of his being worked to control his breathing. Clearing told the story of Aoko and Alice's crushing defeat. Aoko was lying face up in the snow, right leg bright red and crushed at the thigh. Her eyes were glazed over. Sojiro could tell she was still bravely fighting. By her spluttering, she had taken a hard blow to her chest or back. 1, 2, and he's down, exactly. The doctor deduced it was most likely both. Alice's injuries seemed less serious than Aoko's. She lay motionless on the ground nevertheless. Lying across from Aoko, face down in the snow, arms out in front, so pushing herself up was too painful. In the old school building stood the figure of the mage he had seen before. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. No mind. Sojiro began to walk forward. Feeling calmer since arriving at the clearing, he advanced toward Aoko. There was nothing to stop him. No one noticed. The faintest look of worry flickered in his eyes. The child werewolf spoke amicably, confident in his victory, and perhaps also eyeing up a new meal. Sojiro ignored him, kept walking toward Aoko. Complete disregard wiped the smile from the boy's face. As the story carried on, these feelings were the last thing on his mind. As he reached Aoko, he looked down at her with a pained expression on his face. Strangely, he was at a loss for words. Just slight hesitation. All he could manage to say was,
なってないぞ 生徒会長。
Bro, why that made me... Hold on. Why'd that catch me up, bro? Why'd that catch me up? God, bro. Fuck you again. Why'd that choke me a little bit? Fuck you again. Music too? God damn it.
行く時ぐらい声をかけるものだろう。
His awkward remark was half scolding and half affectionate.
このバカ。
Despite the pain in her stomach, I was able to throw an insult his way.
安心した。余裕あるじゃないか、青崎。
His voice brightened, supplying her bravado. It was that she barely had the strength to live. Despite that, Sora looked like he wanted to respond in his usual way. Something like, "See, Yasaki? You're too tough to die, even if someone kills you."
あんた。
As soon as she tried to speak, she ran out of breath. Sora heard her loud and clear this time. I've looked absent-minded, but he knew exactly how dangerous the situation was. Damn. Aka knew because his carefree sounding words did not match his expressionless face. God damn. That hurts to look at.
何のつもりで。
Before she could say doing, she coughed painfully. Sora pressed his finger to his lips and nodded. Could not quite believe it. It looked like as though Sojiro had gestured to her to not speak.
だってほら、状況はあの時と一緒だ。君がやられたら、次はこっちの番なんだろう。だから協力をしに来たんじゃないか。
Sojiro.
まあ、何もできないのも、あの時と変わってはいないんだけど。
Sojiro. Bro. Naoko did not know what to say. Even look at him, amazed and awed. Werewolf stared at them, visibly frustrated. After all, he believed himself to be the noblest of all creatures. Ignoring him was treason, punishable by death. If Toku had not been there, he would have sunk his teeth into Sojiro's neck by now. He was sure he had been intimidating enough. However, his prey did not show any sign of fear. It's hard to imagine, but maybe, just maybe, this guy did not view him as a threat.
まあ、誰でもいいんだけど。筋張った肉は歯ごたえがあっていいし、何より食い出がある。
Could you not?
先にそのお兄さんから始めても構わないよね。
As a matter of fact, I mind, though. As a matter of fact, I mind. Boy Wolf called out once again. Still not responding, Sora raised a hand to his nose. Cool, calm, and collected. Paying no mind to the boy, keeping an eye on him.
匂うな。
Who is the sassy lost child?
Hmm?
Everyone present was confused. No one seemed to be able to smell anything but him.
へえ。何が匂うっていうのかな。
Excuse me. Ryo's voice retained its usual arrogance, but it was tinged with impatience. He was unable to hide his irritation at being ignored. Finally, Sora turned to face the boy just a short distance from him.
品のない肉の匂いがする。これだから犬は嫌いなんだ。
Sojiro. Fucking dog, bruh. His voice was filled with disgust and contempt. He was merely speaking to himself. The werewolf boy had never felt so insulted. If that was not Soldier's intent at all. In a moment, the wind picked up, perhaps sending a change in the werewolf's mood. A fierce glare whipped around, carving patterns in the snow.
Sojiro!
Let him cook. Sensing he was about to be killed, Good desperately tried to move. But her broken body would not respond. During Soldier's insults, Alice was unsuccessfully struggling to get to her feet too. In complete contrast, Sojiro stood there, firmly unfazed. The little blonde boy's well of patience had run dry.
そうか。要するに、僕が子供だからって舐めてるんだね。
No, it's
お
just
兄さんは。
bro is big mad. Okay, that's raw. His time playing human was over. Okay, that's raw as fuck. That's sick as fuck. Best music? Oh shit, really? Let me listen to it then, hold on. Is that a wait, is that a choir? Is there a choir in the background? Did I hear it? Hold on. Enraged, the boy transformed. Grew larger and larger, golden fur sprouting from his pale flesh. His mouth grew razor-sharp fangs. His hands grew claws. What I do know is, when this movie comes out, this scene is going to be so fucking raw. This scene is going to be probably one of the best moments in the movie when this scene plays. Guaranteed. It's going to be sick as fuck. Guaranteed. Drove from magic energy in the air, transformed into a preternatural beast. A wolf in the shape of a human.
重火の許しは出していないぞ、ベオ。
We yelled at him. The werewolf did not respond. Only huffed deep breaths of hot air.
そんなバカな話が。
Also, Soldier could say in response to the boy's metamorphosis. Big dog, Soldier solos. This process y'all want me to trust so bad. I'm starting to have doubts, man. Such a transformation was the stuff of nightmares. What's worse, Beast now towered above him. It's enough to make anybody question reality itself.
驚いた。
Seeing his prey's reaction satisfied the werewolf. His maw twisted into a satisfied grin. Ye of little faith, it's a strange one, this guy. But meat was meat. However, the beast's arrogance was short-lived. Ray breathed a sigh of exasperation before speaking.
それじゃあ本当に犬そのものじゃないか。
Sojiro. Bro, you just a dog. Sojiro, no. No. Bro, you just a dog. He's right. He's not wrong. It's just a dog. You hear a pin drop, even in the snow. Sonoji's about to get clapped. Nah, bro, you got this shit. Now you're a little fave G2. Hold on, you a little fave G2. Hold on. Alco, Alice, and Toko were all dumbfounded. Are they really seeing a human not just stare a werewolf down, but insult it to its face? I cannot believe it. Also, yeah, this song fucks. This song fucks. I need the name. Actually, I have it on. I have the playlist on Spotify. I have the official playlist. I'll find it. I'll find it. It was too late. Any trace of the wolf's pride or dignity faded away. The onlookers finally realized that the wolf was serious.
ベオ殺すな。
Toko's command fell on deaf ears. Why do you not want to kill him? I thought you wanted him dead. I'm just throwing my question out there, not to be answered. Wolf prepared to lunge, his emerald eyes fixed on Sojiro, not 30 feet in front of him. Mere 30 feet. A half second was all he needed. A half second to bring his claws down and slice his prey from head to toe.
死んだよお前。
A roar of joyous, unbridled fury echoed far and wide. It's the only warning the werewolf gave as he exploded towards Sojiro. A makeup pick! Oh god. 1 second. Golden blur swept forth in a furious gust, too fast for eyes to follow. A phase of unworldly speed. There was only one thing to do. Sojiro stepped forward, a silent shadow opposite the beastly silhouette of the incoming werewolf. He needed exactly 3 paces, yet his entire life went around 3 feet of distance. Blink of an eye, death would be upon him. Yet, that showed the slightest indication he intended to avoid the lunging behemoth. Almost before they slammed to the ground with earth-shaking fury. Bro is unfazed! Sojiro doesn't give a fuck who you are! His back muscles tensed up as much as they seemed barely contained in his frame. He swept a raised paw downward. Sojiro's small step neatly evaded the claws. He had a different motive. He was now positioning himself for the next move. His intention was never to avoid anything. In the beginning, his mind was focused on but one thing. One point to aim for. Wait! Bro unintentionally dodged the wolf's first attack. Bro, this wolf sucks. One mind. One breath. He picked the perfect opening in the wolf's torso. Precise microsecond between contraction and relaxation. That one point alone was the crack in the dam of life. That's my fucking guy, bro! That's my Sojiro. That's my Sojiro. I don't care what the fuck happens after, that's my boy. Dodge your light speed fucking lunge and punches you in the chest. That's my guy. Bro took 3 steps, dodged his light speed dash, and fucking hits him. Bro, that's my guy. Punched the werewolf in its chest, his feeble human strength. Oh god! Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. It's a dull thud and a burst of blood. Twisted flesh and gore were all Sojiro's own. Werewolf's raised claw convulsed. Insignificant impact. The beast's body was the first to collapse, then his spirit. There was a moment of utter incomprehension. Wolf opened his jaws to try and pull air into his lungs. Bro, neck chop his ass! Bro fucking neck chopped him, basically! Gasping, he began to topple forward. His slender figure slipped around to his flank. That's my fucking guy! That's my fucking guy! The next blow pierced him like a spear. That's my goat! Knowing his mangled left arm, the silhouette whirled around and drove his right elbow into the collapsing werewolf's back. Mink! There was not a muffled impact. You Sojiro, go fucking crazy! The second strike penetrated to the exact same spot the first strike had, crushing the beast's heart. This time, the blood that flew into the air belonged to the gasping wolf. The werewolf fell to the ground, choking on his own blood. That's my fucking guy! What? Oh my god, Sojiro, bro! What's this video? I don't know if I should I watch. What's this video? I don't. What's his link? Did not get up. He showed no sign of life. What? It was. He two-shot the fucking dog. He two-shot him. Are you fucking serious? He two-shot the God Wolf.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's there with me! That's why
He's the GOAT! The GOAT! That's why he's that guy! That's why he's that guy! He's the MVP! Oh my... Everyone here understands the power of this wolf, but like, do you even comprehend how fucking insane that is? There's only one golden third wolf left in the entire damn universe. It's a descendant from the age of gods, and Sojiro two-shots it with 2 hits. What the fuck? Oh, this movie's gonna go crazy. Shouldn't have fought he should not have fought Sojiro. That's fucking insane. There was no remorse, no hesitation in that brief act of violence. The perfect, furious golden beast lay still. It's a perfect being, and it dies to Sojiro. So which would be perfect, am I right, boys? Perfect? Nah, bro. I could have lived that. You didn't. See, thing is, I could have lived that. You didn't, though. That's crazy. Failed in a mere 3 seconds. Give Sojiro 3 seconds in the ring, he wins. I should not. What the fuck am I saying? Nah. Sojiro can beat Awkward. What am I saying? Nah, let me shut up. Sojiro can beat Arc. Nah, let me say the right thing. Sojiro beats Arc, bro. Sojiro solos. Holy shit. No sane person would have bet on this outcome. Look at my fucking guy. His breathing calm. The victor stood over the fallen behemoth's body. Bruh. Is this the thumbnail? Bro, that's the thumbnail shot right there. That's gotta be the thumbnail shot, bruh. It's like a too crazy. Nah, bro. If he can find a way to one-shot an immortal being, consider this. The wolf is an immortal being. You need to consider that fact. It's described as an immortal being. Bro's dead. So is Ark, and look who still lost. As the beast lay crumbled in the snow. I grasped what had happened. She better... You better stay away from Sojiro, that's what I'm saying. She better stay away from Sojiro, what I'm saying. What had ruptured, cutting the blood flow to his body and brain, leaving him helpless. That much he knew. If you were a normal creature, he would be dead. As it was, so trifling inconvenience. Oh. Once his heart was repaired, his body would heal as well. As if he had been struck by magecraft seeing his own mystical nature. It was a little different than a grazed knee. Just what was so strange? Your heart does not stop from a grazed knee. Yeah, right. Obviously, it's yeah, as I said, it's an immortal being, so. With a friendly search his memory. I don't remember right up until the moment he raised his claws. What would come after that? Our transformation, no one could withstand even a cannon blast. What a puny human dropped him. Wait. Before that, he had to figure out exactly what his opponent did to him. He got in close, yes. He had felt a small impact. The attack was so accurate that it probably only affected his heart. Ridiculous. That was possible. There's no way that alone could stop a werewolf's heart. In the end, what he thought about it, nothing added up. This was out of reach for a werewolf with no knowledge of being backed into a corner. There were no limits of human skill. One thing was certain. He had lost. He tried to piece together the sequence of events. The explosion in his chest, the flash of white. After that, as he was falling over, took another blow to his back. Tonoshiki needs some bitch-ass mystic eyes of death perception to kill the mortal beings. So no one needs that 1-2! Fucking 1-2, bruh! And it's over! That was the one that disrupted his heart. It's like a crazy to say. Listen. An actual RKO. Well, more of a TKO. That's triple knockout. I don't know what word I'm looking for. Could lose? Indeed. It's physically impossible. Boy gnashed his teeth and tensed his body in indignation at his unfair conclusion. Sama ain't got enough from Sojiro? Bro, put Sojiro in the ring and Sadman from Punch-Out, he wins. Sojiro beat Goku? Okay, bro.
こんなのは嘘だ。同族でだって僕を任せる奴はいなかった。こんな痛みも、こんな事態も全部嘘だ。
Bro is in denial.
不合理に狂っている。だってこの僕が他の生き物に負けるはずが。
Tonoshiki and Sojiro, actually. Tough. Not thinking. He was ready. On the ground, he glared at his enemy on his side.
負けるはずが。
The very next moment, a known type of pain coursed down his spine. It had eyes, cold eyes, staring, piercing. Colorless. Moon looked more alive. Its arms were broken. Its inhumanly powerful attack had mangled them beyond recognition. If it was in pain, it would have cried out. But it was silent. Was it ever alive? Those dead eyes. He'd seen eyes like those before. His eyes without hatred, without joy, without any feeling behind them at all. It was a mindless insect. While his hair stood on end. What was this creeping chill crawling up his spine? He never experienced fear. Werewolf did not know what had become of him. Despite countless clashes against other mystics, a human that broke him. New beasts even larger than himself. New legendary creatures like himself. Had not known this. He'd never met, just imagined, a human-sized bug. Bro has the god werewolf shook to his core, bruh. The chill down the werewolf's spine was so vicious it threatened to split him in two. If he moved even an inch, it would crush his skull underfoot. In spite of the despair gripping him, the boy paradoxically sensed that his opponent would not move at all. This human would exhibit no further violence. As a creature, no. A stone that held no animal instincts, masqueraded as a human. Contradiction grated against his heart, his values. phantom pain born of an unknown emotion. Fear. It wasn't just grating. It was like many needles lonely digging into his heart. This had been his first taste of doubt, reality. Such contradiction existed in the world, after all. There were rationalities and questions you did not want to hear the answers to. Good. Suppressed pain suddenly flowed through his body like a raging river. This is also a first. Till now, he always been able to control pain. Never known what it was like to tremble. An element might have even felt sorry for him. An elemental might have even felt sorry for him. We're here to watch. That's right. Cry. How sad. Born complete and lost in the lunacy of the human world. His heart had fully regenerated. Howling in mental agony, Beast clenched his own trembling body. His eyes. His human eyes looking straight through him. And then, the boy realized the only reason he was still alive, with both arms broken, he could have finished him off with his legs. But it mattered not, because his opponent was giving him a taste of his own medicine. This was not revenge for trying to kill him. This was revenge for the wounds he inflicted on the girls. The absurdity of it all made his throat tighten. His breathing was frantic. This human had no sense of self, but no concern for its own safety when it stood between him and the girls. This meant why it had no hate or fear, perhaps even intent to kill him. Indeed, the fact that he was alive had nothing to do with the human's will. The fight was machine-like, so was its judgment. An eye for an eye, nothing more. If Whoever had killed one of the girls, this exchange would have ended differently. Yes. He shuddered at the thought. Never entertained such a possibility. Which, that implies Sojiro was already aware that this was an immortal being, which, he was told that, right? If Sojiro actually had a means to kill him, that means he knew it was immortal and had a way to kill it regardless. He had never had to, because he was supposed to be the one exception to that rule. Agony kicked him hard in the gut. Well, Toko, the hair sacrifice meant a grand total of nothing in the present Sojiro, so I just wanted to punch it up. Well, he did it out of to get revenge, to get back at what he did to Alice and Aoko. But if he killed one of them, Sojiro would have killed him. Not the mystic. Nothing was immune from injury, from decay. The boy finally understood an obvious law of the world. Or rather, he had been taught. Those eyes would not stop staring down at him. Retribution was a universal law. He was not painfully aware of that fact. And yet, one who brought form to this idea was this human! The pain of defeat, in his heart, the pain of comprehending the incomprehensible. Pain. The impossibility of it all had shattered his perfect world. It ate at him, consumed every fiber of his being. The doubt made his head spin. It was too much. Humans were impossible to understand. He had not been made to face the death of another, but his own. In order to cope, he reverted to his human form. Quietly, You shivered like a frightened child in a mother's lap. Bro made him untransform. Still lying in the snow, I got choked on her words. I'm trying to comprehend what had unfolded.
宗十郎、あんた。
She could not hide the trembling in her voice.
何？
And bro is not even phased. The meaning of fear, yeah. Dude. Sojiro is not even fucking phased, bro. Oh. Bro's not even fucking phased. Yeah, what? What is it? I don't think you could actually kill him. I mean, maybe. It was at least teaching the kid that, hey, you hurt them, I hurt you. You kill them, I kill you. Like, at least teaching him that. Speaking in his usual way, sort of nonchalantly turned toward her.
何って。今自分が何をしたか分かってんの？
Punched the dog and elbowed it in the back. What of it? She shouted angrily, so he had done something wrong. I mean, the dog's immortal, so we don't know, but he at least taught the dog that, hey, I could have killed you if it was possible. He looked surprised, wondering what on earth he had done to upset her. Lowered his gaze back to the wolf boy, leaning his bro in dismay. Sort of finally realized what Alko was referring to.
心外だな。青崎は分かってると思ってた。
Looked at her in disappointment.
分かってるって何をよ。
What? What are you talking? What? Being suddenly affronted, Alko responded curtly. Sort of sighed.
山じゃ、熊はそう珍しいものじゃない。
That's not a fucking bear. Alko must be real happy she didn't attack Sojiro back at the mansion. I mean, she had him locked with his mystic eyes, so he couldn't move. So, I mean, she should be she's probably thinking like, oh, thank God he used my mystic eyes on him. That's probably what she's thinking. Like, oh, thank God he used mystic eyes when I grabbed him by the choker. God damn.
以前、確かに言ったじゃないか。
Huh? Ako's jaw dropped. Sort of would have punched for the mystic eyes. Well, no, he was stuck. Bro, he couldn't move. Took a moment to process what he had just said. He recalled some meaningless conversation or other from who knows when.
君、もしかして俺をバカにしているのか？
I'm just gonna explain here.
まったく。なんで熊を倒すためなんかに修行しなくちゃいけないんだ。
He's trained to fight bears. His family in the mountains probably taught him how to... The village he lived at in the mountains probably taught him how to fight bears. So I wouldn't say it's for fun, it's just he knew what to do. Yes. Now that she thought about it, they had spoken about that. He mentioned being familiar with large beasts. She couldn't deny that she'd heard him utter some anachronistic nonsense about training against them. Which meant he was used to dealing with animals larger than himself. I know, right? If he'd lived a sort of life that involved run-ins with wild bears, then a man-wolf might only have been surprising, but not particularly frightening. Ingo hung her head. After all this time, was it that really made no sense?
参ったわ。あなたの勝ちよ、宗十郎。
Yeah, we win this one, let's go, Sojiro! It's hard to tell whether she spoke in admiration or exasperation. Either way, she slouched in the snow. I could spoke quietly enough so that she could hear her words. Victory. Finally. And then Toku could just like flick her finger and probably just blast Sojiro to Kingdom Come, but you know. Toko, on the other hand, understood exactly what had transpired. Toku's a bit peeved. Rio lay fallen. Now he's a sobbing boy. Another boy stood over him with two shattered arms. You're fatally wounded. Alko and Alice still could not stand, but recovered enough to breathe. For Toko, she had only a few tricks up her sleeve. Maybe 3 or 4 more wounds at best. Why the crest on the background stay unusable? She could use the remaining magic energy from the field imprisoning her grandfather. That would be stupid. If release her grandfather, she was ownership of the sacred ground. Trying to defeat Alco and Alice now would mean starting over from square one. She could not afford that. This sibling rivalry had to end. Go ahead, gambled everything on her surprise attack. Using the fact she was still an outsider to infiltrate Misaka's defenses. For 3 years she had labored, sending her work to the association. She used 20 years worth of hair to mobilize an army of familiars. It was now or never.
だが、私は失敗した。
Because you didn't kill Sojiro. You overestimated the werewolf's power. It should have been enough. Against mages alone, Beowulf by himself would have been enough to ensure complete victory. But things did not always go according to plan. Beowulf's incredible strength was conditional. She knew he was not infallible. Why hadn't she prepared a contingency plan? Her heart was cold as ice. She stared at Sojiro, who stood tall. His arms were a hideous mess. When he used to strike Beowulf head on, barely even resembled an arm. Bones were bent out of shape. His muscles were torn to shreds. That his arm was simply broken would be a gross understatement. Streams of crimson ran down his other arm onto the white snow. The elbow he drove into Beowulf's back was likely shattered, and his muscle and tendons torn up to his shoulder. Judging from the state of his arms, it's doubtful he would be able to use them again. Worse than his arms for his left leg, no doubt his internal organs. He used the light to make the full brunt on Beowulf's charge. At a glance, he looked fine. It was just now a useless hunk of meat attached to his torso. His insides were worse. When the weight of Beowulf had ruptured his spine, causing widespread internal bleeding. Oh. Basically, he was a dead man standing. Oh. But, like, he'll be fine, right? A bird with clipped wings. Living like that would not be living at all. But he's still standing, though. He could barely stand, let alone fight again. In contrast, the collapsed werewolf was unscathed. Once had he coughed up blood. Drew out the pool of red on the snow was Sojiro's. Crimson tapers were telling the story of the boy who stood strong and defeated the werewolf.
当然だ。衝撃には反動が伴う。拳を振るうのなら相応の負担がある。まして相手は人狼。走ってくる鉄の壁を真っ向から殴るようなものだ。
And he still did it.
それを。
Perhaps he had known what would happen. Animals instinctively limit their strength in order to protect their body. Compensating for physical weakness with intellect and technique was humanity's forte. That clash had shown humans at their very best, and yet they'd also been beyond human. He attacked without concern for his own safety. Not self-preservation in mind, he could go beyond human capability. To strike through the steel-like fur of a legendary werewolf. Who would have thought that a beast would withstand a shot from a tank? He fell by a mere human.
いや、違う。ためらうことなく殴りつけたから壊れたのではない。初めからあれは壊すことを前提にしていたな。
He sacrificed his entire body to destroy Beowulf's heart. Toka felt a chill come over her as she went over in her head what had transpired. It should have been a nightmarish scene, but she was captivated by the supreme display of physical rationality. Outside looking in, she witnessed not an accident, but a rational consequence. That instant, the boy had put his entire being into piercing Beowulf's chest. As soon as he laid eyes on Alco and Alice, he had committed himself fully to the task. He seized Beowulf up, synchronized his breathing, found his weak point, calculated the exact position, timing, and distance he would need to hold his ground. He knew what he had to do to win. He did it with everything he had. Nothing to do with instinct. A wild creature would not have tried to beat something he could not. Only a human would risk his life when faced with the impossible. That contradiction fed his attack. He twisted his body from his heel to his neck to focus his energy. If I had simply tried to run Sojiro down, Werewolf would probably have won. At least wanted to rip him to shreds. Or rather, he was baited into doing so. We had charged. He planted his feet. Raised his claw, swung it downward, putting himself off balance. His pulse was erratic, his movement wild. In that moment, he was vulnerable. That was when Sojiro made his move. Beast had overwhelming power, but it was sloppy. As the human concentrated all of his meager power into a single point. That was how the human shifted a balance in his favor. The follow-up elbow attack would rupture Bayo's heart. It was graceless second strike. A sloppy blow no different from Bayo's. The elbow was only able to penetrate the beast's golden fur because of the first attack to his chest.
あの時点でベオは丸裸にされていた。無敵の人狼がその機能の一切を休止させられた。
Sojiro knocked the invincibility out of him. Alright, bruh.
つまり
The strike was not meant to break, but to disable. All living creatures had weaknesses. No matter how strong a creature, they had weak points and weak moments. Not just physically, but mentally too. A time when they aren't in their best shape, able to focus or find motivation. Sickness, or a lack of sleep or food, for example, cause the body's rhythms to go out of sync. For a variety of reasons, intelligent beings risk losing their ability to function properly. Injured beasts were no exception.
弱点、欠点をつく魔術なら知っているが、すべてを投げ打って弱点を生むとはな。
The boy's strike to the heart was not an attempt to kill Bayo. It was designed to create a weakness in something that had none. The elbow attack took advantage of that break in Bayo's invulnerability.
加えて、笑えることに不意打ちですらない。ベオの神経の伝達速度なら、毒が当たった瞬間に感知し対応できる。
You really should have been able to, yeah.
だが、そもそもそれを毒と認識できなければ、変形のしようもない。
Because of how calm Sojiro is, he's never seen as a threat.
毒ではないものが毒になるなんて落とし穴を誰が教えてやれるものか。
Simple answer, you don't. He was frustrated, to say the least. But was totally committed, utterly selfless. His life in that single moment without expecting a single thing in return. That boy had required the experience and skill to do such a thing. Not a miracle of luck, no miracle of passion. It's not talent, tenacity, or hatred. Without constant intense training, no one could destroy their own body on a whim like that.
子供には相手が悪かったようね。
Seeing Bio cowering in the snow, it was disappointing in her lack of foresight. She used him for his talent alone, ignoring his inexperience. He was not a child. His life experience might have given him the strength to bounce back and devour Sojiro after regenerating.
ベオを責めるべきか、それとも君を評価すべきなのか。
I think if you scold him, he will kill you. She quietly lifted her left hand. Nobody noticed. Sent far away, the boy standing there looked like a hunter from a picture book. He had a slender build. That was likely because he intentionally shed any excess. Given what she just witnessed, his closeness had to be a part of an act, the act of a hunter. She thought to herself, she suddenly remembered. First thing that crossed her mind the first time they spoke.
そうだったな。だが、それは忘れていたかったよ、宗十郎君。
No sooner had she felt a sliver of sentiment, she returned to her unshakable resolve. She was raised as the heir to the Aozaki household. taught never to question the morality of her actions. That was why. Even now, she knew exactly what she had to do.
でもよかった。
Sojiro muttered, unmoving, perhaps because of the pain in his broken arms. He did not look at Aoko. Instead, his gaze would focus on Alice, just lying prone some way away. Before he looked lonely.
よかったって何がよ。
She asked, spurring him on. They were steps from each other, close enough to touch hands. Their quiet voices carried in the stillness.
私たちが無事だったからなんて言ったら怒るわよ。
He was not joking. He turned away from her slightly, shaking his head.
口にするのは3度目だけど、青崎の心配はしていないんだ。いや、さっきはちょっと意識が飛んだようなんだけど。
He said, as an embarrassed smile crossed his face. First time, Yara fainted. The second time, his passion pushed the dizziness and nausea aside. He just calmly did what he could as best he could. Nevertheless, how calm he tried to be, deep within festered a very real rage.
じゃあ何が良かったのよ、宗十郎。
Ako's voice had a slight tinge of annoyance. Sojiro responded.
だって、ようやく約束が守れた。そっちだけが約束を守ってるのに、こっちは果たせなかっただろう。それがずっと気になっていたんだ。その機会があって、本当に良かった。
His relief expressed itself as a small but heartfelt smile. Ako listened, astonished. For a moment, she could not recall what promise Sojiro was talking about. When she remembered what he was talking about, what she had told him all that time ago in the amusement park, her mind went blank.
あいつをやっつけるのに協力したら、俺のことを見逃してくれる？
Proposed a deal, but in the end, he hadn't been of any use. Must have been eating away at him this entire time. Like I considered the agreement binding, only for herself.
あんなどうでもいいことを。
She muttered in disbelief. Sort of gave a nod, affirmed with a tiny voice.
約束は自分のために果たすものだって教えてくれたのは青崎だ。だから君が守っている限り俺も守らないといけない。はあ、ずっと俺はそうしたかったんだ。
To listen to a confessional, Ako stayed silent. She could not find the words to say, anyway. Sort of proved everyday enigma. Taking such a trivial promise so seriously, speaking so sincerely about something so basic. She could not wrap her head around how he had beaten a werewolf. His personality? That was the true mystery. It's no use trying to figure that out now. Taoka Aosaki, he was a riddle wrapped in an enigma wrapped in a conundrum.
それじゃあ借りは返したから帳尻はゼロだ。これで貸し借りはなしだぞ、青崎。
Sojiro said lightly, as attempting to break the silence. Normally this would have passed her by, but she saw his kindness for what it was.
貸しがついたのはこっちの方よ。これじゃあどうやって返していいかわからないじゃない。
Aoko grumbled. Sort of not an happy agreement.
それより青崎の足なんか塞がってるな。もしかしてもう立てるのか？
She shot him a stubborn look as if to say, well, duh, obviously. Now amazed by her grit, he offered her his right hand. Despite being broken at the elbow, Aoko had looked as sturdy as ever. From appearances, just beyond recovery, it would be for the rest of his life. Even so, he seemed able to ignore the pain for Aoko's sake.
ほんと、あんたってバカ。
She uttered under her breath, looking up at him. As she hated to admit, she could not refuse his hand. Resigning herself, she reached out to Sojiro. But her hand never reached his. A small bell chimed. A line of wind whipped through the air, cut through his waist, like a guillotine. No. No. Fuck. No.
Sojiro?
That used to be his name, right? Name of whoever lay in the red snow in front of her. His face now rested on the ground beneath her chin. The smell of Viscera assaulted her nostrils. A river of blood flowed from what used to be her stomach. It happened so fast. Too fast for her mind to process, in fact. Only solace was he probably did not suffer. How could you think that so calmly? Especially after what she had witnessed. Her blood boiled at her own stupidity. Which begged the question, how should she treat the one who did this? Fuck. Just all her anger on herself. She had none left to give anyone else. But this hatred was hers and hers alone. Fuck. I fucking hate Toka. Her problem was this. Could she muster the emotions from this drought of anger? She was not sure, but the thought of hunting them down made her smile unconsciously in anticipation. Like returned to the old school building, where Toka was standing with her arm out in front of her. She used the same rude magecraft used against Alco and Alice, except Sojiro had no magic crests. Toko's amber eyes were narrowed, staring intensely at the fallen corpse. As to what she might have been feeling, Alco could not care less. Even if Toko felt regret, Alco could never forgive her for as long as she drew breath.
やはり君からこうしておくべきだったな。
Toko was not speaking to Alco, but to the dead body. There was no response. No clouds of breath. Coming to terms that he was truly dead, Alco pushed herself up to her feet.
案外無様ね。
Facing her sister in the distance, Alco spoke hoarsely.
でも正しい選択だわ。これで勝負はやり直しだもの。
She turned away from Sojiro and stared at Aoka. They stood far apart. Far apart than their positions made them seem. There was nothing left to say. The two of them exchanged words in respect to the fact they were once sisters.
ああ、魔術刻印という私の切り札はこの通りで、人狼というカードもお前の切り札の前に敗れ去った。
Not even a god could kill Sojiro, bro. It took a cheap back attack to kill him. A cheap shot from behind to kill him. Not even a god could fell him. Keep that in mind.
だが、そちらも刻印を使い切り、彼も今息絶えた。互いに決定打はなくなったわけだ。
そうね。私も甘かった。人狼が再起不能になった時点で、あなたが敗北を認めたなんて勝手に思い上がるんだから。本来ならそうなるんだけど、あなたがそんなに諦めがいいのなら、この町に戻ってきはしないものね。
Bro, I swear to God, if anything happens to Alice, bro. I swear to God.
本当に甘かった。
I swear to fucking God. God, this is just like with Noelle, bro. Dude, It's clear Choco that Aoka was trying to suppress her emotions. Aoka was right, though. Sister had counted on Beowulf to succeed. As mages, no matter what cards Aoka and Alice had in their hands, they were helpless against the werewolf. But then, Sojiro had shown up. Toad couldn't win as long as he was around. Unfortunately, though he had stopped the werewolf, he had been defenseless against the mage. So she had to kill him. With Sojiro out of the way, no one could hold Beyo back. To give time for him to recover, as long as his wounds were only mental, that would be overcome. Alice and Alco could try to attack again before he recovered, but Alice was being kept in check by the poison, so Toko still had the advantage. Stalemate, still. Battle would drag on. Unless Alco were to use it. Powdery snow began to whirl around. The air around her wailed. His magecraft had transcended all that was mystical. The gate to miracles beyond human comprehension, ready to show itself.
やる気のようね、青子。
Tunka released the crests, maintaining the fields. With that, her grandfather would be freed, and the barriers around Misaki would be restored. It's not what Toka wanted, but it was that or forfeit her life. The crests at her disposal were now twice as powerful as her sisters. Toka gazed at this new threat with her eyes half closed. Now this was her concern. Far removed from the situation, she was searching for something hidden deeper inside herself, desperate to reach it. There it was, an odd feeling, picking up algae. It's not the fire of emotion. It's not solid nor great. This have been people meant by rising to the occasion, abandoning thought itself. She held on to that feeling as she stared at her enemy.
いいわよ、トウコ。
She spoke softly, yet more loudly than scream.
お望み通り、本当の魔法を見せてあげる。
Focusing her power into the dim crest on her right arm, she weaved the words together. A single incantation. A final, heartfelt farewell. A brilliant blue-colored magic. taking time back to when a certain someone had been blessed. To put it simply, Magecraft is human wisdom. This world as we know it. Magic is the singularity that exists beyond either of those. The beginning, the first changed all. Next, the second recognized many. In answer, the third showed the future. Tethered, the fourth concealed itself. And the final fifth had long since lost its significance. Someone once said, "I don't end at the third." Magecraft is a study of history, feats of our making, and life orbiting the planet. But true magic is the evidence of a god beyond the heavens. What do those who stand on the earth extol the virtues of miracles beyond humankind and the planet? This was an undeniable sin. She was the enemy of humanity. That is why. Those who obtain a new magic are killed by the Red Shadow.
聞け、万物の霊長。
His voice resonated through and high above the winter skies. It began to fracture, turning the scenery to broken glass. Toko wondered whether she should fight or flee. She started to try and keep her feelings in check and see this through. The object of her possession for so many years was right in front of her. Nationality was slipping from her grasp. Both of their fates were now uncertain. Toko had an overwhelming advantage when it came to her crest and the terrain. When it came to true magic, however. Now it's like magic was anything like Alice Kawanji's fairy tale monsters. Then mage strength was not a part of the equation. At this point, it was Toko against magic itself. There was no winning against truth. The transcendence and idiosyncrasy of true magic rendered things like magecraft irrelevant.
だが、
Toko stared at her sister, wondering if she could actually use it. The proclamation lacked conviction. She had raised her voice, that was out of discipline, not been the arrogant conviction to sacrifice someone else for her own gain. Having not been chosen to inherit it, Toko could not imagine what the magic in her sister was. One day it was a force violent enough to change the world. No human mind could withstand the audacity required to make an enemy of the world itself. Especially not someone as indecisive as her sister. The power of magic would surely cripple her.
そりゃね。
They took his eyes on her. Aqua doubted herself. She couldn't help but hesitate. Terror gripped her heart tighter.
でもだからって
She could not run away forever. Her hesitation and terror meant she would never forgive herself for stopping now. Closing her eyes, she pushed herself into the final stage. Time stopped, like a light being switched off. She submerged herself in her own darkness. Everything froze. Only she moved. Everything around her disappeared. She passed the limitless stream of stars. As soon as she did, she wanted to disappear into the empty, thoughtless place she arrived in without any answers. Not again. Red Shadow will surely come this time. Suddenly, I saw a new memory. Also because I used another to make the trade for. Heard a familiar yet new sound. I wish for nothing. I seek nothing. I want to fuse with the consciousness that hurls backward in time to zero. This sound. The bitter, sad meaningless pulls me by my hair. I have to resist. Red Ghost was always going to be my biggest hurdle. I must forget the value of life. I must forget the dignity of death. The sound persists. It's got nothing to do with this journey. It's just an external distraction. Yet, I think I finally understand. No one noise has been making me so uneasy. What the? The unsettling whispers directed at me. Or perhaps Red Shadow was perplexed. The quiet soul listening to it. It glares at me, its eyes full of hatred. How could I be so unprepared? Don't tell me. You can't be serious. Going to turn me into your prey for that? That is your everything. You have nothing else. The effect of rewinding. The decision to never say never. His prime, his meaningless life. She negated it. She used his superior power to negate that sound which was an absolute rule to him. Just brushed it aside, like it was a cobweb. The sound disappeared. A new one replaced it. I wished for nothing. I want nothing. A pure, obedient heart. That's why you get nothing. Life of falsehood, led by affirmation. This is ridiculous. My legs move toward the future, but they stop. I change of plans. I'm taking a different path. Nothing's changed. It's just something that has made me real mad. How can I put it? Call this the past. Idiot. Don't complain about something to someone, I'll explode. It's just to the voice, to he who hears it. Or to the part of me who just stays quiet and watches. Or to the one who did that to him. No answer. I open my eyes. I could release everything she had dragged up. As what was there, what she saw, she could not remember. She held on to was the fury that burned in her heart. Pushed on by something she did not know. She opened the door to magic. The change was extraordinary. Beneath her, the snow vanished, replaced by a small patch of lush green grass. This ground had never existed under the frozen blanket, had been rewritten into a new landscape. The very elements rejected her, as if the world itself was fighting back. The electrical discharge lashed at her body. This miracle threatened to destroy the world. The world had to protect itself. It moved to expunge her. Pain scorched her every cell, tried to tear away her consciousness. But she did not falter. All this pain and this loneliness was to take her to the root. Ever since inheriting true magic, she had suffered this torture time and time again. She contended against the voiceless protests of the cosmos. The burden engulfed her retinas and nerves in flames. And then, light. She finally understood. She remembers why she came back, and what she wanted to scream. A sensory voice told her to stop. to edges of oblivion, her hand touched the true form of magic. The snarling red shadow was there, telling her it was no use. So much doubt, so much fear. Such things meant nothing to her, to me. I don't care about magicians' obligations and destruction of mankind. I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. I only have one reason for doing anything right now. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. I just want to save him.
No, say.
A blue whirlwind whisked up around her, casting aside her doubts and sorrow. The magician played her trick upon the world. Time flowed backward. Childhood memories were overwritten. White flowers appeared as far as the eye could see. Rather than snow, they rippled like a wave across the world, devouring it.
Five timeless words.
What was declared had come to be. In this time and place alone, the fifth magic made itself known. In the blink of an eye, the snowy clearing had transformed. A sea of fully bloomed white flowers blanketed the grounds. All the dilapidated school building and the bare winter trees signified this was the original world. The once cold wind now blew with a pleasant warmth across the landscape. Even the night sky was once again teeming with stars. One reached out and could almost touch them. Some mix of comfort and solitude, quiet enough to carry the sound of insects flying through the air. A scene far removed from the impurity and grief of humans. A world with nothing, and one that needed nothing. It was his most precious memory. The winter tundra had changed into a spring meadow. Ako's so-called true magic confused Toko. Sure, it was pleasing to the eye, but she wanted to see something less idyllic. Can't wait. Ako's spell was clearly no small feat. The surrounding mana had not changed. Not to be confused, though, and deal with something like Alice Kawanji's flat snark. The only changes seemed to be the flower field and Ako's appearance. She seemed to have received some enchantment to her physical form. It would never be enough to match Toko.
確かに魔法といえば魔法だが
Toko said with a hint of annoyance.
あいにくとお互い夢見る年頃ではないんだ
You haven't seen fucking anything.
まさかそれで終わりではないだろ
Ako began walking through the sea of flowers. She was not heading toward Toko.
いえ、これでおしまいよ。私も、あなたも。
Ako's words sent a wave of unease for Toko. Her sister's voice seemed different, somehow. It's mostly the same in pitch, so it had to be the tone. No, that was the same too. Something was off. Could it be? But then Toko noticed something else that had changed. Just Alco in the clearing. The severed body lying at Aoko's feet. It was now whole. Corpse reanimation? Wound healing? Well, Aoko had used a significant formula. Besides, treating a body did not bring it back to life. Since the dawn of time, even true magic has never been able to bring back the dead. The body of the boy behind Aoko was moving. It was breathing. Like it was taking a nap.
死者の蘇生が青崎の魔法。いや違う。あれは蘇生というより。
Thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Okay. Okay. I have a headache now. I have a headache now, but okay, we're gonna keep going. Thank God. I'm fine, by the way. I just need to go. I just need to. I know I just kind of just kept reading and didn't respond to anything, but I just had to work my way through it, and yeah, I just had to work my way through it all, and just keep going, just keep going, just get through it, and now we're better. Okay, I'm doing better now, knowing that he's fine, he's fine. Once you could think of an answer. Aoko realized what had seemed out of place to her before. Aoko's mannerisms appeared beyond her years. Her appearance had changed ever so slightly. Beyond there had been a change from within. Without Aoko arrived at that seemingly impossible conclusion. Aoko had closed the distance between them.
Tabi, sit.
Aoko raised her left hand to eye level. Who could see, no, hear the magical energy gathering inside Aoko. A sound Aoko had never heard before. One that possessed single-function, low-grade circuits, not better than any third-rate mage. She generated magical energy at a much lower rate than Toko. However, this speed was absurdly quick, even faster than the blood pumping through her body. Mage class could vibrate, but how in the hell would activate the magic circuits audible? Even the association had never heard of such a thing.
我が目前に勝利ありき。
Spurred to action by the sudden dread she felt, Toko hurriedly carved runes into the air. Toko summoned the divine protection victory tier to surround herself with a barrier, which was further enhanced by her crests. Paying it no mind, Toko held her arms steady, not moving it up to strike her target directly.
まだ展開。
Toko commanded herself succinctly. This was beyond magecraft. Just a few words, she had fired 20 magic bullets. The meteor shower, the bullets smashed through the rocket-proof rune barrier, as well as Toko's spell-woven coat. This is the fifth magic. You're still underestimating them too? The runes lining her coat screamed. Would not be able to take another barrage like that. She had already taken internal injuries. She loathed to admit it. Aoko vastly outclassed Toko in terms of raw power. Even harder to admit was that her sister probably had not even brought out the big guns yet. Jumping backward, Toko drew more runic symbols in the air. Response, her crest burnt brightly. But a single word, Aoko nullified the runes, dissolving them before they could be given meaning. How if Aoko's words had surpassed the magical energy of Toko's rune magecraft? With the runes notified, I continued advancing for the white flowers. From her calmness to the robust spinning of her magic circuits, and her breathing, she was different. A woman with sublime self-control, a trait only found in mages with a lifetime of combat experience.
あれは時間か。
Given the evidence, that was the only explanation for Aozaki magic. This really is the moment we've been fucking waiting for, huh? Because magic circuits had not been amplified. It would have been possible anyway. Like Toko, she would have to externalize them, which would just increase the scope for her magical energy and techniques. Aoko's words beat her out. Aoko's words beat magecraft. By nature, the quality of a mage's magic circuits did not change. Aoko was not clear superior mage to Toko. There was only one logical conclusion. In an instant, she had grown from an amateur to a veteran. She fast-forwarded at her own time. The scarred red mage turned her back on her sister and ran. She knew she could not win. She fled toward the old school building. Aoko did not fire. Not out of pity. She deduced an attack at this range was risky. Went to chase after her sister, but stopped suddenly. A few words caught in her throat. She took a small breath.
Alice, そいつお願い。
She said, slightly embarrassed by the maturity of her voice. With white petals flitted through the air. Looking back, even after Toko, long hair flowing behind her. Thank God. They're all okay. They're all fine.
あれ
Hey, Sojiro. His eyelids snapped open. At last, Sojiro awoke from his long slumber. Lying on his back, he gazed up at the stars. The trees around him created a porthole into space. Despite seeing all this for the first time, he felt an uncomfortable sense of deja vu. So many questions. What happened before he fell asleep? Why had he been sleeping? It was just so hazy. He had walked out the door one minute and woken up in bed up the next. So many thoughts clouding his mind. He barely recalled his own name. He couldn't remember. It's a girl he'd never seen before. Something thin around his neck.
しずきくん。
It was quiet. Clearly belonged to the girl named Alice Kuwanji. Was at his side.
そういえばそうだった
He sat up, mumbling incoherently. Hey, Alice. The black-clad girl knelt next to him.
花だ
God, I fucking hope not. He said, paying no mind to Alice. Okay. You have to describe. Okay. No. No. The blue moonlight, spring flowers swayed, surrounded by dead trees and snow. Against the curtain of night, white petals danced in the breeze like butterflies. Staring long and hard at the spectacle, Soda raised his fingers to his neck. Looked carefully, he was touching a wound. And gradually he began squeezing, harder and harder.
しずきくん、
The voice of the girl beside him brought him back to reality.
せっかく戻れたのに。また行くの？
She sounded both sad and reproachable. Wait, what? Sojiro did not understand why. Seeing the uncharacteristic concern in her eyes snapped him to his senses.
行くってどこに
His fingers fell away from his neck. By answering, she likely looked to the sky. Some of the infinite darkness of space.
まあいいや。それより俺は何をしてたんだろう。
You just took a quick nap, Sojiro, after you fought the, After you fought the wolf, you just took a quick nap. Nothing else happened. You were just tired.
なんか変だ。ごちゃごちゃしてる。
Sojiro tilted his head in confusion. Labs observed him motionlessly. This bewildered boy was a far cry from the one that made short work of a werewolf. And again, this was Sojiro. She stared at him. She realized she did not have any answer he could understand. So she tried asking a question. The same question she had asked him repeatedly as he slept, but eventually gave up expecting a response to.
今までしずきくんは何をしていたの？
The quiet question was spoken like an nefarious spell of magecraft. Said spells seemed to work, and sort of sank into a sea of memories. Atop the bright white hill, Quite sat for a while, like siblings.
誰かの声が聞こえた気がする。何かを聞いているようだった。けど、自分は最後まで一言も返せなかった。
Though consumed by the darkness of death, it still vaguely recalled the girl's question. He was not aware that he had died, but seen a fragment of time remained from when he had been with her. So his expression darkened, filled with regret. And his profile as pressed him further.
それで欲しいものは見つかった？
Maybe that someone had asked him questions. Give a slight nod.
ああ、そうだった。けれどね、アリス。そんなものは見つからないって思っていたんだ。
Good for you, Sojiro.
うん。ずっとそう思っていた。
Good for you. The regret in his voice was accompanied by a hint of strength. Lowering his gaze, he saw a white flower garden that looked like something from the afterlife. It shone brightly, captivating him.
思い出した。青子の前でざっくり言ったんだっけ。
Oh. So he does, okay. So he does remember that happening, okay.
なのに生きているのはどういうことなんだろう。
Sojiro said, prodding his broad body curiously. Some of their old selves again. What of Aoko? Don't worry about it, Sojiro. Aoko just did something, don't worry about it. He turning toward Alice for an answer, who sat among the flowers looking sullen.
巻き戻されたのよ、しずきくんは。
We just put you back together, so don't worry about it.
この風景も本来はあなたの記憶だけど、わからない。
Hmm? That seemed to be speaking in riddles.
俺の記憶って、その割には知らないところなんだけど。
This field is from his memories?
今しずきくんの時間は青子に使われているから、それが戻されるまで思い出すことはないわ。
What? Time is being used by Aoko until that time is returned. You won't be able to remember. No, I don't think so. This was his most precious memory. She answered ominously. She cast her gaze over the flower garden.
でも、これが消えてしまうのは残念ね。元に戻れば、思い返せるのは私だけなのに。
Oh, they found the spell, didn't they? That's what they mean. They found it, didn't they? Looking at the white blossoms, she smiled momentarily.
おう。
Words only confused him further.
アリス、君答える気がないんだろう。
You're not gonna say it straight, are you? He said dejectedly, prompting Alice to face him. Emotions lay inside those deep eyes.
意味のない話だけど、聞きたい？
聞きたい。アリスが教えてくれるならなおさらだ。
Sojiro nodded enthusiastically while Alice took a deep breath and closed her eyes. She spoke in a caring tone as she was capable of.
結論だけ言うと、あなたは一度死んで生き返ったの。
Yes.
しずきくんが瞳子さんに殺されてから、青子が目を覚ますまでの5分間分の時間を巻き戻して。
What?
その時、あなたは10年近い年月を青子に使われた。二人とも肉体年齢は変わってないから、中の時間だけ持っていったんでしょうね。
Borrowed 10 years from him.
だから今、この景色を懐かしく思えるのは青子だけ。そして、
Okay. Once the time exchange is over, neither Aoko nor Sojiro will remember what happened during these moments. Okay, this moment. So he's not gonna forget them. Okay, this moment. That's fine. Aoko used someone else to channel her true magic. It did not affect her alone. She rewound time for only herself. The temporal inconsistencies would form part of her own experience. However, this was proper time travel. The inconsistencies would be corrected. The magic ended. Falco's memories of this place and Sojiro's unfamiliarity with it would be corrected. This miracle would become unrealized. The observers would remember this brilliant white sea of flowers. Alice and Toka.
時間を持っていく?
Or if it's just this scenery of flowers, that's fine. I don't care. He's alive. I don't care if he loses this memory. I don't care. Does it suck? Does it suck? Yes. But he's alive, so I don't care. So what I asked, he said tilting even further Alice's general explanation. Ishikata Aoko said that if you gave Sojiro a roundabout answer, he would stop asking questions. If he did not comprehend it. Meanwhile, he'll cover once the magic ends. Oh, so nothing changes. Okay. So he'll just get his 10 years of experience back, and Aoko will lose them. Okay. Okay, that's fine then. Yeah, okay. So there's no downside to this. Okay. Okay, that's great. No downside. Great.
しずきくんを生き返らせる方法はなかったから、命の復元より死そのものの回避を青子は試みたのよ。まだ青子には無理なのか、それとも今回もひよったのか。
The world will explode. Nah, it'll be fine.
大きな操作は避けて小さな操作。自分とあなただけの空間に留めたよね。
Allegedly, the world will explode.
あなたは今5分間だけ時間を飛んだことになるわ。
So basically, what Aoko did, from the moment he was basically putting his hand down to grab Aoko to pull her up, like when she was on the ground, he was standing there, she basically plopped him from that moment, or even before that, like before he faced the lion, before he faced the wolf, basically took him from that point, and just put him here. Is what he did. Is what she did, right? Just to like summarize, before he fought the wolf, to now. Skip that time completely, so it didn't happen. So she pulled a king. She pulled a King Crimson basically. That's what I just to explain. Okay, so she pulled a King Crimson basically. Is what that's way to put it.
仮に遠い未来、この時間を検索できる人がいたとしても、あなただけは誰にも見つけられない。だって時間軸の上にいなかったんですもの。そして同時に。青子は自分の時間を上乗せするためにあなたから時間を借り受けた。多分幼年期の時間でしょうね。個人の時間操作は忘却している部分の方が楽だと聞くし。しずきくん。
Should I slow down? Alice asked with her eyes. Maybe if we give him some gloves, he won't end horribly mangled in the rematch. Yeah. All I could do was nod.
つまり2つの奇跡を青子は行使したの。
Give him some boxing gloves, he'll win.
あなたの体の巻き戻しと自分の体の早送りね。
Yeah.
しずきくんの時間に介入する際、ついでに10年分の時間を借り受けて未来の自分を持ってきた。だから今瞳子さんを殺そうとしているのは27歳分の時間を持った青崎青子ということになるわ。
27 years. What was Alice talking about? His expression gave away his thoughts. The part about Toko made him furrow his brow. That's terrifying. Well, we see what... I mean... We know what it's like with 40 years of experience if you look at Melty Blood. We see what Alco can do with 40 years of experience. Jesus.
瞳子さんを殺すって青子が。
もう終わってるでしょうけど。
As soon as Alice answered, Sojiro sped off, kicking white petals behind him as he ran. The brave boy who defeated a werewolf was back. And Alice watched him go. On a snowy night, the same boy ran down Shinosuke Hill for her too. She entered the old school building. Lights flashed and the sounds of destruction exploded around him, ready to turn the area into burial ground. Still, he remained focused.
ほら。悪いけれど、やっぱり無駄だったわ、青子。
Yeah. The words only reached the white flowers around her. Akko knew Sojiro too well, so she wanted Alice to stop him. She tried to interfere in the battle against Toko. She could not protect him this time. It was too late to celebrate Akko's judgment now. Men in black had no intention of going after him. He just sat for a while, gazing forlornly at the transient flower garden. We can fucking try. My phone's dying, hold on. Phone complete charge. I'd have to just screw myself. Thank you. A storm of magic bullets struck down the hail of lightning blades. Mage's workshop was their home base, and last line of defense. Featuring an abundance of defensive spells designed to cut down the brazen challengers and thieves. Is Absolute Mask gonna get my popcorn? I don't have any. Unfortunately. The old school building was no exception. It's taken a rigid by the puppet master and rune mage, Aoka Osaki. Reflection of her bizarre obsessions, the workshop was set to indiscriminately destroy any intruders.
足止めぐらいは果たせバカモン。
No complained, she ran down the hallway, leaving her traps along the way. They seemed to work. None of the ruins, regardless of their quality or quantity, could slow her sister down. This music is pretty good. Her reaction speed and ability to predict attacks could only be described as transcendent. The magic bullets she fired from both her arms were too much, destroying the ruins and the very walls that housed them. Jesus.
それで一人前のつもりか単細胞め。熟成したところで壊すことしかできないとは呆れたな。
It says you running with your tail between your legs. She spat out her words. The ceiling opened, increasing the pressure from the ruins. Visible walls popped up in the hallway. Go stopped and swung her right leg upward. Anyway, straight toward the ceiling. Her foot cut through the thick air like a knife through butter, shattering the ceiling and the runes along with it.
あんたの方こそ いつまで経ってもこの凝り性。
Stop being dry, you got it. Dude, I've been drinking this whole time, actually. But, still, thank you regardless. I've been in a bad sitting position for a while now to change that. I've been crushing my fucking legs.
どこもかしこもルーンだらけ。少しは遠慮ってもんがないの？
Mm-hmm.
宇宙要塞ばりに改造してんじゃないっての。みんなの思い出の校舎なんだから、もっと大切に扱いなさいよね。
She actually destroyed most of it. Wood boards along the hallway, that withstood decades of wind and snow, were now destroyed. Alco charged forward. Chaos was inevitable. It's the center that matters. Exactly. Yeah, of course. Toko's runes cursed living creatures. Alco's magic bullets destroyed all without prejudice.
優雅さのかけらもない。
And?
あんなのが自分の妹だと思うと。
Does it matter if she's not elegant? Does it really matter? Toko would do anything to change her blood. There were more pressing matters at hand. Rushing her now was not the sister she remembered, but rather a more complete version of her. We couldn't afford to let her guard down for a second. But...
笑わせる。そんなものが魔法であるものか。
Stop running and face it forward. Localized time travel. Toko didn't believe that was the true nature of the Aozaki's magic. The transformation had to be a mere byproduct of true magic. Make heads or tails out of its depths even without having achieved it. At the very least, it was not so simple as a miracle. After all, the concept of time travel was already made possible through the second magic. Record manipulation, a vision of possibilities, and so forth involved the operation of parallel worlds. So, there's no way that could be the fifth magic.
となると、次に出てくる疑問はこれか。青子、貴様、その10年分の時間をどこから持ってきた？ あのボンクラからよ、悪い。後で返すんだから、あんたに非難される覚えはありませんけど。
That made sense. There was a bias. My time on this axis had not been changed. But...
では、あの5分間はどうする？まさか私を始末した後、彼を元の状態に戻すのか？
I got stopped in the tracks. Tokai took aim at Aoko's glaring oversight. I was like imagining Aoko's humanity were inconsistent.
そうだ。時間操作では死者の蘇生は許されない。お前がしたことは一時だけの気休めか。
Magic Crest and Toko's back began to demonstrate their true worth. When the magic engine stored in the crest, she materialized her largest trap yet in the hallway.
あるいはより罪深い暴虐ということだ。
3 rune stones appeared. Their scale and level of magic energy were widely different from the other runes. By Toko herself at the Mages Association. Replicas of one of the lost primordial runes created by a Nordic giant. The 3 thin crystalline lenses amplified her carved runes tens of millions of times. Stop fucking yapping. They rendered projectiles like magic bullets ineffective. Falco's magical output far exceeded Toko's. These giant slabs were several times more powerful still. Falco's signature magecraft could not release magical energy, so she had no way to defend or evade the attack.
Main, set.
Pushing herself on, Naoko took a deep breath of resolve. Instead of defending or dodging, Low and charge into the rune storm. Cool magecraft, anyway. Nope. Cured by the realization, Toka set her magic crest to full power. Do we even time travel, bro? You don't. A repeated second-long burst of time travel. I was able to avoid the runes completely. She was either sending the attacks impact at a different time, or laying several fountains of herself on top of one another. Whatever. No way she could keep up that kind of magical energy output. I'll kick the crystal slab to pieces. 2 remained. Distance 30 feet. Look at 10 seconds of magical energy left. That was all she needed. Aoko, on the other hand, would stop now if she had any common sense as a mage. She couldn't continue breaking the rules for much longer. And again, time travel itself was breaking the rules.
Aoko!
Once again, Aoko used the same technique. Aoko's suspicion turned into white-hot hatred. She couldn't care less about her time travel formula. It's the amount of magical energy she had. Why was she pulling that energy necessary to jump through time for so long? It's the death of Sojiro Sisuke. She had brought him back 5 minutes when he was still alive. Where would those 5 minutes go? Aoko's magic wasn't using parallel worlds to change this one. She had only rewind Sojiro's 5 minutes. Then, logically, return after being a corpse soon as the magic ended. Time travel that didn't change the world couldn't change the past. Therefore, if she wanted to save him, she had to either truly resurrect him, or send those 5 minutes of reality somewhere far away without returning them. Aoko showed no sign of slowing. Behind a crystal barrier, Toko glared at Aoko with disdain. Got rid of it. Don't matter. At some point where it doesn't matter. "15 feet to go." Faced with such madness, she wanted to cover her eyes. She put the depth of the present in the distant future? Time paradox would have been more humane. Such an enormous, haphazard consumption of heat could not be allowed. To all, time travel alone required a massive amount of energy. Magical energy was required to bring things from somewhere else. At the same time, losing something that exists here consumed an incredible amount of energy. What about the magical energy used for cooling? Heck, if it fell out of equilibrium, it would mean total chaos. The distortion caused by her magic will come to affect this entire sector of space. So it doesn't matter. Exactly. She's putting it to a point where that 5 minutes doesn't even matter. So? The death feed means the sun's already expanding to kill us all anyways. It doesn't matter. The last comment made Aoko's eyes widen. Every step exerted such force it broke the floorboards beneath her feet.
現在が確定している以上過去を消滅させてもいいと。
Yeah.
それでいいのは私たちだけだ。問題の総量、宇宙の負債はどうする？
Someone else's problem. Exactly. If the universe were closed, while the present were still expanding, a certain increase in heat consumption would become uncontrollable, which waits for the end of infinite expansion, infinite consumption, and infinite growth of future without hope. Nothingness before creation. Eventually the universe would burn up.
青崎の魔法はその結末をより確かなものにするだけだ。その責任をお前は。
言われなくても分かってる。責任なんて私が生きてる間に何とかするわよ。
5 feet to go. Rune blast, not carrying all of Toko's hatred, focused into a scorching hot laser beam. Body being torn into by the intense heat and her emotions raging, drove her foot into the ground.
責任を取ると言ったな。ではその具体案は？
そんなのこれから考えるに決まってるでしょ。
お前は最悪だ。
Toko's last defense was shattered. Also to connect, the two mages unleashed their magecraft. Red runes, blue ether, cascade of magic bullets. Toko Aozaki's crest were torn to pieces. So was Toko herself. It was just as Alice said. When Sojiro arrived, it was already over. The old school building's wooden boards had survived the elements for decades. They were not ready for a mage duel. The entrance door hung off its hinges. Floorboards groaned. The stairs were ready to collapse underfoot. Toko's escape and Ako's pursuit had left a trail of destruction leading all the way to the second floor. The chaos continued to the end of the hallway, the stairs to the third floor. Toko sat in a heap with her back against the wall. But her injuries kept her eyes firmly on Aoko. She was bleeding internally, with multiple broken bones. Damn. She would not be moving anytime soon. Also damaged by Aoko's flying kick, her mystic eyes had ruptured from within, closing them indefinitely. Despite her battered and broken body, she was still breathing steadily, a testament to her stubbornness. Over her stood Aoko, staring down at her, uninjured.
屋上までは持つと思っていたんだが。
Toko's not trying to be facetious. She sounded genuinely disappointed. She responded with a cold glare. Azure eyes had not changed one bit. Were callous as ever, yet undeniably beautiful. Where she stood, Aoko held her hand over at Toko, like a hunter about to put a wounded prey out of its misery. The victor was decided. Mage came to steal land and got a death sentence for her trouble. The silence was disquieting. Moonlight peered through the demolished ceiling, illuminating the two sisters with its stare. Utterly mad sibling squabble was over. When the fireworks were finished, the cold wind had returned to claim the old school building.
何か言い残すことはある？
His voice cut through the silence. Yuko thought for a moment, lightly patting her coat pocket. Nothing. She frowned.
最後に一服と思ったが、あいにく お前を待っている間に吸い切ってしまってね。日本のタバコはうますぎていけない。
I could give a small nod.
なかなか常人には真似できない遺言だったわ。
待て待て。いくら私でも遺言まで謎かけをする気はないよ。お望み通り、敗者は敗者らしく当倍をあげるから聞くといい。
His voice was laden with sarcasm, not hostility or hatred. Yo, broken and beaten. God damn. Perhaps her Veda was not directed at Alka herself, but rather a product of two sisters born into a maid's family.
青崎の魔法が時間旅行に端を発するものとは思わなかった。まだ事情がありそうだが、当事者ではない私には何ともね。ゴンプにはわからない悩みだ。せいぜい大事に付き合っていけばいいさ。しかし、10年経ってもそれでは先が思いやられる。アリスは何をしていたんだか。
アリスにしてはよく付き合ってくれた方よ。魔術師としてはいつまでも半人前っていうのが彼女の結論。けどまあそうね。あの狼とならいい勝負をしたんじゃない？
あれはダメだ。敗北を知ってしまった。もう完全じゃない。半人前に値で勝っていようが、魔法の前には得意性を見失うだろう。
Yep.
ところで、青子、お前の魔法とやらは手段か、それとも結果か。
It's a good question. People want to know if it came before or came after. Alka need magic to get her where she needed to go? Or did she obtain magic as a result of reaching that place?
あとよ。私は扉の前で尻尾を巻いたからジジイの思惑なんて知らないけど。
第一魔法と同じ経緯か。ますます業が深い。第2から第4はその場所へ到達するために生み出されたものと聞く。同族嫌悪は世の常だ。いずれ第一と食い合わなければいいのだがね。
Yeah, but I hope it doesn't bite back eventually.
しかし、扉ときたか。魔法の継承とはパスの継承のようだな。ではやはりここにユミルの入り口があると。
北欧かぶれのあなたにとってはね。私にとっては赤社の門と言えるものよ。
Akasha, yep.
最初からそれを狙っていたんでしょ、あなたは。
To use every ounce of strength she could find to nod.
望めば手に入るというのに何代も待つのは嫌だったんだ。ソフトはそれで決別したようなものだったよ。
Heard that sound.
青崎に対する復讐心はそれには優先されなかった。
And yet here you are.
まあ、すべては終わったことだ。もう語る必要はない。最後に根源に触れた感想が聞きたいな。
She spoke after taking a deep breath. Last words showed no trace of hatred. Alka remained silent. She began raising her right hand up high. She recalled her grandfather's orders. The source of true magic. Meaning one's knowledge or impression of the root was strictly forbidden. This is her sister's dying wish. Maybe it would be okay. The conversation would end at the moment she brought her arm down. Then, this rotting shell of a building would become her sibling's tomb. What harm could it do? It's not like she planned to follow her grandfather's rules anyway.
白状するとね、姉さん。
His voice carried through the blue hallway.
正直、全然わからなかったわ。
So we'll never know. I could give a blunt reply, with her arm down like a bolt of lightning. Or at least, she tried to. Ron wouldn't listen to her. He wouldn't budge,
何のつもり？
cursing Alice. Her spatter question out with venom. Something materialized from behind, taking hold of her raised arm. Now to express it, Toku was shocked to see him too.
手離して。
Not looking at him, at her restrained hand, who spoke sternly, her eyes forward. Come to think of it, Mr. Park, you appear to have nowhere to protect her from that puppet.
聞こえなかった。二度はないわよ。
She was not bluffing. If he interfered, even he would be given no mercy. Decide to let you live. Go against that promise. But he should know better. Even so, he maintained his grip on her arm.
いい加減に。
But turn around. The word told caught in her throat. She made her regret looking at him. She saw herself in this expression. Mournful sadness. Judgmental anger. These conflicting emotions spoke to her of her own internal struggle. Voicelessly, quietly, without volition, rustic gray eyes, questioning a deep zen.
言いたいことがあるならはっきり口にしなさい。それができないなら消えて。
She gently released Ako's arm to maintain her resolve. Locked eyes, neither friend nor foe. Her bitterness clashed without words. Then suddenly,
人殺しはいけないことだ。
Sojiro realized the fucking best character in this game. Sojiro stated that matter-of-fact way of his, which Aoko had become all too familiar with. His words were empty, tried even. And yet, given her current state, he reached her. But she would soon forget the fragments of Sojiro's memories. They made her painfully aware of how he felt. Still, she could not agree with him. Come back to bite her. If she let Toko go now, her sister would come for her again. She would have made 2 attempts on her life. Did not have it in her to forgive her sister for what she had done. Above all, just as Toko said, if Toko did not change, she would be a novice forever. She had not won her first mage battle yet. Putting down a blood relative would require even more conviction. Nevertheless, his words echoed over and over in her heart. Murder is wrong. Such a childish phrase. The earnestness with which he said it was enough to make her sick. Resisting, Echo glowered at Sojiro.
だから殺されたくせにその相手までかばうっていうのあんたは。元気になったら懲りずにやってくる殺人鬼が相手でも見逃してやれっていうの？
まさかそこまで言ったら聖者だ。自分にはそこまでのことは言えない。
But he would probably still let her go. I don't think that Toko would change. He doesn't not care to rationalize her actions based on her life. He was simply thankful that this person before him was still alive. He seemed pretty damn saintly to me. This is what had made Aoko so angry. His overwhelming innocence and self-righteousness enraged her. The whole of Mirrors was happening all over again. The difference was now she knew he was acting like this, because she had taken a part of him. He took a step forward, passing by her, saying words he knew he shouldn't.
仕返しなら殺された人間がやるのが筋だろう。
Oh. Oh.
君を止められないのは分かってる。だから青崎がやるぐらいなら俺がやる。
Oh. It's difficult to discern who was the more pathetic in all of this. Toko, who had been staring at them the whole time, closed her eyes, drifting off to sleep.
ごめんなさい、トウコさん。
Knowing her fate, she dropped her head as best she could as he walked toward her.
そうだな。君にはそれもいいかもしれない。今は特殊な状況だから、冷めた後に君がどれほど悔やむことになるか想像もできない。ただ、それで君の停滞は終わるだろう。晴れてみそぎ落としというわけだ。純粋に祝福してあげられる。気に食わないのは、それを決意させたのが私ではなかったということぐらいか。
She knew Sojiro could understand. What's hanging in the air, she closed her lips tightly. And weakly stuck out her slender neck. Sojiro took another step forward. Before could do anything, Aoko moved. Spinning in front of Sojiro, cut off her magical energy and swung her hand as hard as she could. The sound of her slapping his face echoed through the hall, along with his staggering steps.
青崎。
What are you... You motherfucker. Playing this goddamn song.
卑怯者。
Tears of anger welling in her eyes. Aoko turned her back to Sojiro, sulking as though she would kill him as soon as he looked at him again.
他人の記憶を取り込んだ代償か。引きずられたな、青子。
そうよ。自分の意志を人に曲げられるのがこんなに悔しいなんて知らなかった。
Well, Aoko could mutter in response. The corners of Toko's lips curled into a grin.
何がおかしいのよ、あなた。
いや、お前にも人並みの情けがあるとは思っていなくてね。バカ呼ばわりは訂正しておくよ。他人の理想を背負うのに怯えるなんて、10年経っても可愛いじゃないか。
あんたね。
そう睨むな。今のは心からの賛辞だ。で、私をどうする？彼に殺させるか、それとも見逃すか？
仕方ないでしょ。あなたの言う通り、これが何よりの代償だったんだから。
Aoko said begrudgingly, giving Sojiro a sideways glance. He seemed to have recovered from the slap, and his usual absent-minded look had returned. He had no memories of his past. His morals and values were too deep to be erased. Sojiro was trying to violate those. He'd weigh at him forever. But doing it not for himself, but for Aoko. He understood this all too well now. The moment he said he would do it was the moment he lost. Not stopping him would be no different than watching him die. She would lose something important inside her. I did not want that to happen.
青崎、やっぱりその自分の受けた傷は自分で返さないと気が済まない性格か？
Who ignored Sojiro seemed to have gotten the wrong idea. Instead, she looked at her scout Toko, who still lay collapsed in front of her.
わかったわよ。トウコ、今回は見逃してあげる。けど、ただで帰れるとは思ってないわよね。
She scowled at her little sister, standing smugly over her.
祖父のところに突き出すのならここで引導を渡してくれ。
まさか私もあの人には会いたくないもの。あなたにはこのまま出て行ってもらうわ。邪魔もしないし教会に届けも出さない。律子は私が言い含めておくから、今回の件は私たちだけの秘密よ。
Luca's brow creased further. Had to be a catch.
青子、何を企んでいる。
Nothing.
別に
Nothing.
その代わりに呪いをプレゼントしようと思って。今まで散々ガンド食らってきたし、おあいこでしょまあ私のはちょっと強力だけど、
Uh-huh.
今後この土地に入ろうものならマダガスカルガエルになってもらうわ。
A frog? Oh no. Spawns if they had just arranged to eat Chinese food tomorrow night. Go walk toward Toko.
はて、なんでそういうものだけ習得してるんだお前は。
She figured it out.
そりゃ師匠がアリスだもの。偏るのは当然でしょ。
The elder Aosaki's sister's brow knitted so hard it could have produced a sweater. This is why her sister would stay a novice forever.
宗十郎、席外して。覗き見が趣味なら別に見ていってもいいけど。
What? Huh? She spoke. She began removing her sister's overcoat. What? The comfortable look in Toko's eyes compared to the strangely cheerful one in Aoko's caused Sojiro to hesitate. Was it okay to leave the two of them alone? Eventually he nodded. It was just a word game between sisters.
覗き見は確かにいい趣味じゃないな。
Exactly. Just best not be permanent. Let's just leave. Putting more to himself than anything, he ducked into an empty classroom.
なんだそのブサイクで悪趣味な術式は。センスがないにも程がある。お前本当に私の妹か。
ええ、この通り芸術的才能は全部姉貴に持っていかれた哀れな妹でして、嘆くなら自分の天才性を嘆きなさい。どうか。
Then to the cold, down to the hallway, cries of sadness, joy, and anguish rang out. Outside, the fully blown white flower petals floated one by one into the night. Sitting among the band of petals, Alice gazed up at the sky. Blossoms scattered into a cloud, then slowly vanished, as if falling asleep. Soon, not a single flower would remain. The clearing would return to a snowy tundra. The magic had ended. In a matter of minutes, the past would return to its rightful place, along with it the time shared between the boy and the girl. The old school building was still. Alice embraced the silence and patiently waited. After a while, Sojiro emerged from the building, and Alice released a puff of white breath. A small sigh of relief. It was over. Sojiro approached, carrying Aoko, putting her in his arms. Was she asleep? Her eyes were closed and she seemed peaceful. Her hair and limp body dangled like a silk drape, just like Sleeping Beauty.
待っていてくれたんだ、アリス。
Wait, her hair's back to normal. I thought it stayed red after this. Hmm. He said, Aoko with a little effort. Alice nodded.
トウコさんはどうなったの？
Yo, look how short Alice is. I just noticed that. You can see how short she really is. Little shorty.
いや、よくわからないけど、トウコさんは帰ったよ。青崎が言うには、そう簡単に解除できない呪いをかけたから、向こう10年は三崎市には入ってこれないって。
What the hell did she do?
その後、トウコさんが尻尾を巻くのを仁王立ちで見届けて、見えなくなったらそのまま倒れたんだ。
Alice's response was brief. As if she was wondering if things were really that so simple. She seemed more concerned about Toko and Aoko. She made Sojiro concerned about Alice and Aoko's relationship more than anything.
それはともかくとして青子はどうなっているんだろう。
Yes, none saw as she looked at Aoko breathing deeply in her sleep.
矛盾と清純を合わせているのね。彼女の時間は今の時間とは異なってしまったから。歯車を合わせるまで目は覚めないわ。
Give it a day or so. Sojiro nodded in understanding, very clearly still not comprehending a word Alice had just said.
なんか拍子抜けしたよ。結局瞳子さんと青崎どっちが勝ったのかよくつかめない。
You're alive, so I say we won. I say Toko, no, not Toko, Aoko won.
そうね。魔術師の争いには明確な点数はつけられないから。瞳子さんの大目的が青崎の魔法の解明なら、魔法を使わされた時点で青子の負けよ。その後のいざこざは凱旋する勝者を夜道で襲ったようなものだし。
Alice said, as she turned her sights to the forest. Miss Sojiro could tell that was Alice's way of saying, let's go home.
そうだね。青崎もアリスもこのままじゃ風邪をひく。
Same for you.
ああ、それと青崎が瞳子さんに呪いをかけるとき何かしてたんだけど。
So it trailed off, thinking Alice would tell him what it was, but a stony and somewhat affected gaze was her response.
見たの、しずきくん。
Did you watch?
いや、青崎が出てけって。
そう。それで青子はどんな呪いをかけたの？
カエルがどうとか。
It's something about a frog. This explanation made Alice's expression darken. It was still a long way from learning any sort of polymorph spells.
そう。
That's, alright. What's prevented her from finishing the sentence? In actuality, roughly within Aoko's abilities considering where she was in time at that moment. Aoko had said, Toko would not be able to dispel the curse for 10 years. The Aoko of this time had not the ability to use such a curse, which meant Toko did not have anyone to rebound the curse to. How much she researched to spend powerful curses, she could not do it with the Aoko of this timeline.
青子が瞳子さんにつけたのは切り傷ぐらいだから、しずきくんが心配するようなことはないわ。
Wait, so basically even the Toko in K and K, she can't go back to Misaki or she'll turn into a frog? Does she still have the curse in that movie series? Because that's actually really fucking funny.
青子にしては随分と生ぬるい処置だけど。
For a slightly unsettling remark. She still has the frog curse in K and K? That's fucking funny. Man, that's that's really funny. Curse forever that if you come to Misaki's town, you're gonna be a frog, bruh. So don't come back. That's really funny. After her slightly unsettling remark, she quietly began to walk. Sojiro followed her, Aoko in his arms. Together, they left the clearing and moved into the forest. As they did, Sojiro abruptly froze.
しずきくん。
He looked back toward the old school building's field with a strange expression. Well, it's all going away now. It's the homesickness he felt? This was only his second time seeing it. A nostalgic feeling, like he would never be back. Like a child saying goodbye to an old toy that was to be thrown away. Seeing his expression, Alice felt a hint of sympathy and chided herself.
あの荒れ地がどうかした？
This is all new from you, Alice. You never were like this before. She asked him, watching the flowery garden fade into a snowy field. Sojiro shook his head.
なんとなく知っている場所に似てる気がして。
You do.
おかしいな。やってきた時はそんな気はしなかったのに。
He stood staring at the tundra for what seemed like an eternity, looking to leave. He She left him there. He would still be gazing at it by morning, probably even longer. There's no point in doing that. In the end, I was the only one who remembered the beautiful scenery he yearned for.
ここはその場所にそんなに似てる？
全然似てない。面影すら皆無だ。
Then let's not worry about it.
ならそれは気の迷いよ。
So we nodded at Alice's harsh conclusion. He smiled slightly, deciding it was pointless to want something that did not exist.
そうだね。多分幻を見ていたんだ。
Yeah, it's probably in a dream somewhere.
あれは一度幸福だった時の夢だった。
Yeah. Severed the ties that bound him, sort of turned his back away from the snowy clearing. That is very sad, though. Yeah. Went from the unfamiliar yet familiar place where he had known happiness.
さあ、早く帰ろう。青崎は重いし、体も疲れてる。
Yeah, unlike you, Alice is pretty fucking heavy. So can we be quick?
洋館に着いたらあったかいお茶を入れよう、アリス。
Oh, that sounds great. Oh, I love a hot chocolate right about now, but it's a bit too late for that. Sojiro spoke her name with a smile. Heart skipped a beat. Since when did he start saying her name so casually like that? Suddenly she managed to nod before beginning to walk again. Oh? As he moved away from her, she asked a small question to his back.
重いって。
Yes.
私より。
Yes. Naku was a bit taller than Alice, so naturally she would weigh more, but Alice wanted to hear him say it anyway. Not to disappoint, so I answered without missing a beat.
ああ、数値的に言うのなら、アリスより10キロ増しぐらい。
20 Whoosh, goddamn, that's a lot actually. Wait, that's a lot. Damn. Now Alice can say, ha, I'm not as fat as you. Alice is so petite. Now Alice can say, next time they speak, Alice can say, see, I'm not as fat as you.
そう。青子が聞いてたら大変ね。
Yes, but it's fine. Oh, she's Oh, she's like smiling too. Oh, brother. Judging by Alice's tone, she was probably going to tell Alco later.
意地が悪いな、アリスも。
Not a mean, bro.
それに、さっきのは本人の名誉のために死者誤入してたんだぞ、一応。
Oh! He rounded down. What, so like 25? So like 23, 25 pounds? Damn. Attempt at being kind had likely drawn him closer to his deathbed.
ダメかな。
Did no good. Yes, nervously. Alice could not help but crack a smile at his innocence. However, she was used to smiling in front of others, so she turned away and walked into the woods. From Sora's perspective, he was storming off in a mood.
なんだ。
Don't worry about it.
友達の悪口で怒るなんて、やっぱり仲はいいんじゃないか、青崎。
Mm-hmm. Sojiro rushed to catch up with Alice, gently carrying Alco along the way. Though the prince lacked the courage to kiss the sleeping princess, he at least saved her and was bringing her back to her castle. Despite what he had been through, he didn't look like your typical hero. Still, in this story at least, he most certainly was. Yeah, okay, I think we ended there. I don't know if I can take much more, bro. I don't know if I can take much more. Holy shit. What a fucking chapter. What a fucking chapter. Nothing in the archive, I assume? No. No. So good. What a... Yeah, dude, what a fucking chapter. I need to see its conclusion before I can say if I like this more than Tsukihime, but Tsukihime hit really close to home a lot of times. But this is still, like, fucking amazing. Dude, I'm so happy I got into these visual novels. I'm so happy I started reading these. I'm so happy I started reading these, dude. So happy I started reading these. Well, with that emotional roller coaster out of the way, that's gonna do it for this time. I hope you all enjoyed, which I guarantee it most definitely seemed we all did. We all enjoyed ourselves through thick and thin, through grief and joy. This was a fantastic section of the game. Truly outstanding. World fucking class writing, honestly. So have a good day, evening, or night, wherever you are in the whole wide world. And I hope to see each and every one of you, same time, same place tomorrow, for some Guilty Gear. We're playing ABBA, the new release. And next week will probably be the final Mahoyo stream. Nah? Ooh, you confident? I like the sound of that. I like that you're confident it's not the final stream. I like that. The more the merrier. But if it's not, then the second last stream, at least. But that does it for me. So, I won't hold you all any longer. And I'll see you all next time, alright? Bye-bye.